Spain. Joining me in today's coverage is Boiler and Crooks. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Doing so well. I'm so excited that ESFL is back, baby. ESFL 121 special commentator Robin Bane. Big shout out for making that happen. So I'm super excited. How about you, Crooks?
Hey man, I'm excited the ESFL is back, coming off that really interesting summer series that we had. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of new fighters and a lot of new faces climbing up to the top. So I'm real interested to see how well people compete from that tournament this last weekend or this last couple months.
Great that you mentioned the tournament because we're going to be doing a bit of a review on the summer series and the esports grand finale, right? The results from that, just discussing what went on a month removed from the action. Now, a couple things that I want to mention are the competitors that were inside of it. Suave, Jamie, Blake, Tyler, Dabigan. These are accredited individuals, but I'd like to get your thoughts, gentlemen. Death Punch, of course, winning in the strategy that he did. Several weeks removed. The dust has settled. What do we think about the esports grand finale?
You know, I'm going to get into Death Punch, but I think the biggest surprise I saw was the top 4 seeds. Those who had advanced all the way to the finals because of their work that they had put in before. They didn't get very far. There's different reasons why. Maybe we can talk about that, but that was the biggest surprise to me. And Death Punch, you know, controversial to some degree, but he did make it work, and he just took out so many big names. It's hard to hold that against him. Crooks, what do you think?
I mean, it was absolutely incredible. I mean, you had people that were smaller names coming up throughout this entire tournament and really just putting on performances that I don't think anybody really expected them to do. I mean, starting off in the grand finale tournament, I think everybody probably thought Romero would do a little bit better than he did, but he went out. Papa Doc went out. Suave Jamie, Ed Parker, Blake Tyler, who won the GOAT tournament, went out. I mean, it was just absolutely. I mean, look at the final. It was Death Punch and Spill Actions. I'm pretty sure nobody with their right mind probably had both of them in the finale, other than Kingsley, who called it out probably like the week before when we did commentary. He picked Death Punch, but it was just absolutely crazy, and it was a beautiful thing to see throughout all three or four tournaments that happened this past summer. I mean, you had Death Punch winning his. I won mine. I forgot who won the first one. I believe it was Dino.
Dino, yep.
Yeah, people did. Those are all picks that people really weren't making to win. They probably thought all the veterans were going to come in and really take over, but a lot of the newer names just came through and really showed what they were made of, and it was absolutely amazing to see. And I can't wait to see what these fighters do going forward. Got you.
The summer of the underdogs is what it did seem to be, and that really kind of, at least in my professional opinion, builds motivation and excitement moving forward. It's what we see, the changing of the guard, old to new, the veterans, right? They have their play styles, it's cemented, and the newer perspectives, the newer methods to the action is what's being more successful these days. So in my opinion, while the esports grand finale wasn't something that could really be predicted or anticipated, it doesn't detract from what it was. Now, one thing that I do want to get into, though, is ESFL 121, the Season 3 opener, of course. Guest commentator Robin Black will be joining us for this weekend, and we have some tantalizing matchups to get into. In the main event, of course, Zyaf versus EK Dirrty. In the co-main, we've got Yerda versus XYZ Stylez, but I want to toss it to you, gentlemen. Let me know which fighters, which fights you are looking at on this card today.
Now, one huge point I want to make from the very beginning. We have 7 out of the 24 fighters today. First ESFL numbered event, debutantes. So 7 out of 24 making their first ever ESFL appearance today. That's big time. Of course, besides that, I buried the lead. Zyaf looking to defend his Xbox crown. I'm going to do a little bit of a deeper dive on Zyaf's stats from Season 2 later on, but that's a heck of a main event. And with that co-main, Yerda coming over from PlayStation, now on Xbox. Really looking forward to that slate.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing card top to bottom. I mean, you have Peyton, who's a former esports champion himself, going up against Simple Benny, headlining the prelims of this card. I mean, you have 2 of the best guys playing the game right now at the bottom of the card, which is absolutely crazy. Then you got Yuri versus Hammer, an ESFL veteran versus an ESFL newcomer. Not really he's been around. He's been around doing commentary, but he hasn't really been in the show for that long. So he's looking to put on a good performance. You got EK Slick versus KM Noda. That's gonna be a good one. You got the KM guys making their debut in the ESFL, so they're gonna be looking to show what their camp is really made of. And you got, of course, you got young Zyaf, the double champ, going up trying to defend his belt on the Xbox side, and he's going up against EK Dirty Dave. And I know Dirty Dave very well. Very, very good player. Very skilled, very knowledgeable. There's really nowhere that you can take him that you can really exploit him. So it's going to be a tough challenge for Zyaf today. And then in the co-main, you got Yerda versus XYZ Stylez. Yerda's more of a stand-up, patient fighter. XYZ Stylez is looking to get you to the ground and really use that top heavy grounding pound that he's so good at and that we've seen over these past 2 games. So I mean, it's a contrasting style there in the co-main event. So it's going to be an amazing card. Shout out to the matchmakers for putting together this card as the first card coming out of this Summer League series. I'm super excited to see it.
This definitely is the one to watch, and I absolutely agree. The matchmakers killed it. What a way to come back with such fantastic competitors. Again, as Boiler, you mentioned, 7 people making the ESFL walk for the first time. We don't have footage or tape on them inside the ESFL Octagon, but Season 2 performances and notable moments from the fighters on this card. I'd love to know your guys' perspectives on people who are participating in ESFL 121 that really made a splash in Season 2.
I mean, there's a wide swath. If we take away the 7 who are making their appearance, almost everyone else has put in a lot of work throughout Season 2, which was pretty much January through end of April of this year. Trickzzy, EK Trickzzy. I wanted to kind of highlight him as someone who was so close to making it to the top, kind of took a couple tough losses, but I'm wondering and I'm thinking if he wins today, that's going to really build some momentum and propel him to where he could really end up, and that's in a main event, maybe even with the belt around his waist. So Trickzzy is not even a dark horse. A lot of people know him, of course, but I just want to highlight him because I think he could be someone who makes a big splash this season.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, he's a former primetime MMA champion as well. He vacated his belt just to be able to come up to the ESFL. So I think right now is his time to make a run deep into this ESFL season. So I'm excited to see how far he's going to be able to go this season. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how well Peyton comes back. I mean, he took a break after his dominant esports scene series, I believe, at the end of Season 1. He came back and competed a little bit in Season 2. He kind of lost the motivation a little bit to play the game, but I personally know before the summer series started, he started wanting to get back into training and really trying to make a comeback. So I'm really excited to see how much work he's put in, and I'm excited to see if he's going to try to make a run for that belt again, or really how far he's really going to try to go in this ESFL season. So shout out to him for making the comeback. Not a lot of guys are really wanting to play the game, but he's dedicated himself and he's getting back in there. So I'm excited to see his performance today on this card.
The Elite King Trickzzy, definitely, absolutely one of my favorite competitors to watch, the Venom Invitational champion. It does seem there have been questions raised about his career. Boiler, as you mentioned, he's had the success and been to these peaks, but hasn't been able to be consistent with it. There have been moments where he slips up, and it's surprising to see an athlete like himself having these moments, but we'll see if he can string it together a little bit more this season. And of course, the return tour for Peyton. Who knows what shape he's going to look like as he comes back to the ESFL Octagon. But now I would love to throw it to Boiler. I know you've got something cooked up in the Boiler's room today.
All right. I'm going to use this Purdue education to bring some analysis and stats your guys' way here on this analyst desk. Being a nerd is cool sometimes. Here we go. First off, remember, this is Xbox only this week. Season 1 and Season 2 combined, the top 10 most picked fighters. Let's look at their win rate. Number 1, win rate, Cody Garbrandt, 2/3 of his wins. 2/3 of his fights were wins. Going down the scale, Poirier, very high up there. Volkanovski, who actually had been the number 1 winning fighter in Season 1, took a little bit of the back seat in Season 2, but still the 3rd best in terms of winning percentage fighter. McGregor still above 50%. Peter Yan, Whitaker, Holloway, and Ferguson right at that 50% mark. GSP a little bit below, and TJ Dillashaw. Guess what? He's picked quite often, but loses 60% of his fights, only wins 40. I will say this does include mirror matches, so without getting too nerdy about it, some of these guys' records would be even higher if they were only fighting non-mirror match fights, meaning McGregor versus McGregor, someone has to lose. That kind of knocks down the win rate. But even that into account, I think it's pretty telling. And really, I thought Garbrandt was kind of surprising. Crooks, what do you take away from this?
I mean, it's a pretty well balanced. From what I'm looking at right now, we have pretty much two people from every weight class being used outside of Robert Whitaker, outside of middleweight. I mean, you got Cody Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw, and Jan in bantamweight. You have Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor in lightweight. You have Volkanovski and Conor in featherweight, and including Max Holloway. And then you got, Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, Conor, and Max and Volkanovski all up at lightweight. I mean, there's multiple fighters in those weight classes that are being used, and it's crazy. You would think it would kind of be the stats are kind of tricky, because if you're TJ Dillashaw, probably why he's losing 60% of his fights is because he's going up against Jan.
Yep.
And even though that's a tough matchup for anybody if you're not Jan. So I mean,
Absolutely.
it's kind of crazy. I didn't think that Cody Garbrandt would be probably have the highest win percentage amongst fighters, but hey, when you have that 98 power with the 97 speed, I mean, you're gonna get it done. So it's real interesting to see that.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, next set of stats. Again, Xbox only, but it is inclusive of both seasons. 24% knockout rate, 13% submission, 44% TKO, 17% of fights going to decision. The main point I want to make here, the difference between a knockout and a TKO in Boiler's opinion, and that's the only one that matters in the boiler room, and Crooks' opinion, of course. Knockout is when there is no finish to fight sequence. It is just out cold from a big overhand or an uppercut that you duck into. No finish the fight. Whereas TKO, maybe you knock them on the ground, you get in that finish the fight sequence, or it's just simple grounded pound, regular wrestling ground and pound. So, obviously a clean knockout is a little more rare than a finish the fight TKO, but still nearly a quarter are straight out knockouts and only 17% decisions. So Crooks, we're seeing some pretty good action on the Xbox side.
Yeah, and I mean, it really makes me happy to see, man. I mean, what I'm taking from all of this is that people are trying to get finishes, whether that be on the ground with submissions, getting a TKO, or getting a knockout. With only 17% decision rates, I mean, that just means that people are going out there and really looking to put away their opponents instead of just trying to get on top of them and stall and really just trying to grind it out and get a decision. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you can finish the fight, you really should. So up at the higher level, a lot of these guys are being able to get TKOs and knockouts, and it's really impressive, especially going up against the level of competition that we compete at here at the ESFL. So it's a really, really good thing to see.
Exactly. Great point. This is against the top of the top. All ESFL numbered events are included here. None of the affiliate leagues, none of the exhibition fights. This is only the numbered events, only the best of the best in this. And as you said, they are going for the finish. Good stuff. All right. Next slide. Here we go. This is the type of knockouts. So put TKOs to the side, put submissions to the side. Knockouts, clean knockouts only. For the Xbox side only, 36% are a hook, either lead or rear, 33% uppercut, 26% head kick. Head kick includes, it's almost all of them are roundhouse head kicks, but there are a couple spinning head kicks and a couple front kicks to the face where someone ducked into it, for example. But again, the great majority are roundhouse head kicks. Only 4% knockout blows from a straight. I think that was only 2 knockouts from a straight. Probably a pull straight. Overhand, elbow, leg kicks. We've seen I believe, just one clean KO on the Xbox side for those 3 techniques. So I thought that was, I believe, and we'll look at this maybe next week, there's been several more pull elbow knockouts on the PlayStation side. Only, I believe, 1 on Xbox, and of course, 1 leg kick KO. I call that a KO, not a TKO. Crooks, what do you think about this one?
It's a real interesting graphic here. I mean, the thing that I like to see on this one is that there's only 1% or less KOs by elbow, which means people aren't spamming spinning elbows and all that stuff here up here. And that's really a testament to a lot of the guys that compete, a lot of the guys and girls that compete in the ESFL. I mean, it's real prevalent in ranked championships just to go out and be spamming elbows like that. So it's real nice to see that people aren't doing that up at the highest level. And amongst like the hook, the uppercut, the head kicks, and the straights, those are all you have to make reads in order to get knockouts with those strikes.
Okay.
You can't just spam those type of strikes, because you can get pull countered, you can get slipped. So it's real nice to see that people, and it's a real testament to the level of fighters that we have again, to see that they're getting these high percentage knockouts with the hooks and the uppercuts and the head kicks, because those are all read oriented strikes. So I'm real interested to see how many overhand knockouts we have, because I've seen with the camp clash that we had not too long ago, more people were throwing that slip straight lead overhand. So I would expect a little more knockouts to be happening with that. I know there's been a new wave of leg kickers as well, so hopefully we get some more leg kick TKOs as well. But overall, I mean, what a great graphic to really see.
And I want to give a big shout out to Cool to Me. He put all the graphics together. I am not behind the artwork, so I just do the numbers. He makes it actually pretty and beautiful and awesome, and he gets almost all the credit. So Cool to Me. He does some work, I believe, as well. So a little shout out if you need some graphics work. So thank you, Cool to Me. One more slide. Submissions. So armbar, 40%. This includes all different arm bars from all different positions, whatever. 40% are arm bars. Box, that is. So, yeah, people talk about the rear naked choke, the standing guillotine, the crooks. I know you have something to say about that. And even the arm side saddle arm triangle. Some of those are overpowered or have been or currently banned in the ESFL. But really, 40% are from the arm bar. And there's a couple other interesting ones. I think there was 2 knee bars. So, I know submissions are a little bit of a touchy subject at times. And again, some of these are banned currently, but Crooks, looking at this, what's your gut reaction?
Hey, well, before I get started on the standing guillotine, I just want to touch on some of the banned subs. I just want to say you guys are welcome, because I got hit with a lot of those subs like literally the week before they were banned. The arm triangle from side saddle I got hit with in one of my fights last season. Then the next week it was banned. I got hit with the arm bar from back sitting when it was broken. The very next week it gets banned. So you guys are welcome. I had to take losses for those. But the arm bar I think is a really prevalent. It has a higher finishing percentage because of top mount. If you get a good denial out of top mount, most of the time people will shoot for arm bars, or they'll go for the triangle arm bar from full mount. Standing guillotines, I mean, they're ridiculously high. Good thing, the ESFL banned them again coming into this season as well. They're really OP just because you can walk around and really drain your opponent's stamina before you get them in there. The arm triangles, I think, are still they might go up or really level out at about 10%, because you can hit them when you're in half guard if your opponent has really low stamina, or if you're really good at that mini game. The inverted triangles, not many fighters really have that sub. The inverted triangles. I know it's from Side Control, and I know that like Tony Ferguson has it, and I believe Dustin Poirier has it as well. So I would think those will probably balance out at about 3 to 5%. But I mean, it's just real interesting to see the subs that people are really shooting for nowadays. And I believe the rear naked choke from back sitting is banned as well this season again, right?
Yep, I believe so.
So the only way you're really going to be able to get your opponent in that is if you have them in back flat, which is a really, really hard position to get your opponent in. It can happen, but I think that is going to drop significantly because of not being able to use it in back sitting. So, I mean, we're going to see really how these percentages fluctuate throughout the rest of the season just because of the bans that ESFL has put in place. But I expect the armbar is going to either stay the same or go up, as well as their inverted triangles and the arm triangles as well.
Definitely makes sense to me. Now,
You know,
I have one more. Bane, I was going to say I got one more stat or two to give about Zyaf, if I could, the champ. So, first off, speaking of that back flat rear naked choke, he's one of the only people that's pulled that off, and that was against Romero. Now, Romero was on medical. You know, maybe we can pull that as a no contest. But long story short, that was incredible when Zyaf pulled that off. I think he's one of the only ones that got that. But looking at Zyaf's stats for season 1 and 2, first off, undefeated in season 2. Second, he's never won by decision. Everything's been a finish. Third, he's never been past the 3rd round. All of his fights in season 2 were 5-round, co-main or main. All of them were main except for one, which was co-main. All 5 rounds. Never went past the 3rd round. All finishes. Unbelievable. Zyaf. Let's see if we can keep that streak going today.
Yeah, I mean
you know,
that's real crazy to even think about, Bane, if you really think about that.
completely. And sort of what we were talking about earlier with the adaptations and different styles that are coming in as this game develops and progresses through its life cycle, right? Older players, the veterans, are cemented somewhat in their ways. It's difficult to really adjust and kind of adopt what the new meta is. Zyaf's a young cat. I mean, this guy is able to flow with the punches and integrate these new styles and
Oh, yeah.
stay on top. Such a great point, Boiler, about 100% finish rate. And then how he gets it done earlier in these 25-minute fights, it's just impressive to see. And that leads me to the second to last segment, of course, is predictions for the main event of ESFL 121. Boiler Crooks, let me know who you think is going to win and how they're going to get it done.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to go with Zyaf. It's just Dirty Dave is a beast. He's a game opponent. But Zyaf is just too darn good. I have to go with him. You were talking about Zyaf. I have the stats over here. He has won over his 18 wins in the ESFL, 11 different fighters used. He's used 11 different fighters. That just shows how wide-ranging his skill set is, like you were talking about, Bane.
Yeah, I mean, Dirty Dave, like I said earlier, he's very knowledgeable. He's very good at the game in his own right. I just feel like Zyaf right now, especially having lost in that camp clash, I know it kind of
Yeah.
it didn't sit right with him. I know
Yep.
personally, I talked to him after that, and he was not happy about his performance in there. So I think he's really super motivated coming into this season to not only defend his Xbox title, but to maintain his level of play on the PlayStation side as well. And it's really, I'm picking him to win this main event just off of what you guys were just talking about a little bit ago. I mean, to not really be going to decisions and not going past the 3rd round. I mean, that's absolutely unheard of with the
Yeah.
people he's been competing against.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, getting a finish on Romero, he's gotten finishes against Perseus. He's a double champ. I mean, he's gotten all the experience that he needs to be an elite champion. He's got the brains to put it all together. I mean, when I competed against him in ESFL season 1, I had him hurt early in the 1st round, and he came back and just dominated me for the next 2 rounds, and I mean put me away. So I'm very impressed with his level of skill at such a young age, and I mean he's only getting better. He's only seeking out the knowledge. He's not staying complacent.
Right.
He's not being complacent with his skill level. He's trying to learn new things every day, and he's trying to make adjustments to where he lacks in his game. But really, man, this kid really just doesn't have an area where you can really just say like that's a weakness in his game because he's super smart. So with that being said, I think that he's just gonna be a little bit too much for Dirty Dave right now at this point in time, and I'm picking him to win this main event.
Nice. I'm also on Zyaf's resume. So I fought him, and I actually started off well against him too. He adjusted quickly, caught me. I made a mistake. He caught on to my rhythm real quick, punished me. Let me really quickly just rattle off some of his big wins. Let's just do season 2 only. This is just season 2. Ready? Romero, Swiss, Goat, Perseus, Host Ninja, Davey H, Yerda, JC. Crazy.
Killers, absolute killers.
It really just emphasizes the skill that he possesses, and obviously 2/3 of the ESFL analyst desk picking the champ to retain tonight. Again, path to gold runs through Zyaf City. Let's see if the uphill climb for EK Dirty Dave is there. Who knows, right? The underdog has shown that he can get it done. If
Yeah.
the Esports Summer Series has taught me anything, it's that you can't really predict what's going to happen. Now, the final segment for today is a quick preview of the 8OX Muay Thai tournament, which is taking place tomorrow, Sunday. That's going to be a super fun card. Competitors like Bumba, TMF Ginja, KM Tadpole, Caliber, EK Bang Bang, and Z Hunter are going to be
Whoa.
competing to see who is the 8OX Muay Thai champ. Again, special guest commentator Robin Black will be continuing his stay at the ESFL through this weekend, so he'll be here for that one. Gentlemen, what do you make of this bracket, and who do you think is going to take it?
Man, it's so cool that Robin Black's getting involved with the ESFL. He's going to have so much fun. We're going to have so much fun having him. I remember at least 5 years ago, maybe longer, just watching him on YouTube, and just his slow motion breakdowns just made so much sense. I'm like, wow, I wish I was a kid now training. I could use this. Like, he literally was just breaking down frame by frame, something I'd pretty much never seen before. Obviously, that's what he's become so well known for. So in the video game sphere, going to be super cool to see how he breaks it down and what he gets into. And I mean, Crooks, I'm going to let you take the big news. Z Hunter coming back. That's that. When I saw that, I was super stoked.
Yeah, before I get to Z Hunter, I mean, there's a lot of new faces in the 8 ounce. I mean, you got Bumba, who I've called on affiliate league cards. You have Keza, you got EK Bang Bang, who's another really, really good fighter in his own right. He beat Prioxis in the summer series. So
everyone beats me. You get through Boiler, I'm a gatekeeper. So.
No, you're not a gatekeeper. You're good in your own right, bro. But
thanks, buddy.
he was able to get that victory over Prioxis as well. And I mean, you got the KM guys are there as well. They're looking to make a name for themselves and their camp. Then you got Z Hunter. Now I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a backstory. Me and Z Hunter, we go back a long way from about UFC 2 when I was in Vegas MMA, which he's obviously a co-founder of, as well as Kinetic and DMart. He really took me under his wing going from UFC 2 to UFC 3 and really showed me the road to striking, the ground game. He was like, hey, this is how you set up your combinations. This is how you use your movement. He's very knowledgeable. He's very elite at the game in his own right. So it's real interesting to see that he's coming back in the 8 ounce tournament, and he's going to try to put in work against a lot of these newer guys that are coming up. If I'm these newer guys, I'm looking out for Z Hunter. I'm staying prepared because he's going to come and try to take your head off from the beginning to the end. And there's not a lot of things that you could do against him that he hasn't seen being the game changer. So it's going to be real interesting. Good luck to all you guys. I wouldn't want to be you.
Fight the boss. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to today's Analyst Desk. We've had a great time going through several events, and of course, be sure to stick around for ESFL 121 later today. Gentlemen, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I'm just so happy we're back, and I'm really looking forward to seeing these 7 new fighters. I mean, we obviously had the summer series, but we had a few kind of, can you qualify for the roster exhibition fights throughout the summer? And we got some winners of that, or folks that performed very well as from affiliate leagues. Crooks and I commentate on that, and you as well, Bane. So seeing the new blood is something I'm really stoked for. But of course, that the main card, and even Peyton and Benny as the prelim. Oh my gosh, like it's stacked. It's stacked, and I'm just so happy we're back. That's it.
Yeah, same here. I'm real excited. I mean, I'm just excited that comp is back because I mean, when the ESFL isn't going, you kind of miss it on the weekends. Seeing that high level gameplay, you got to go back and rewatch the other events and all that stuff. I'm really super excited that it's back. I'm real interested to see how the newer people compete as well. I want to see who's gonna make their name and who's gonna stand out and really try to take their name to the next level. I mean, we had Zyaf do it in season 1. He did it. You had OG Bulldog. You had a lot of people make their names in season 1, and as well as new faces in season 2, like myself and Death Punch winning our esports tournaments. I'm real interested to see how these guys are going to use their platform that they have now at the highest level to make a name for themselves. And I'm real interested in, who knows, maybe even your boy might go and compete against them on the Xbox side every once in a while. So I want to see who's going to make a name for themselves here.
Glory is up for grabs. The spotlight could be anybody's. I've been the Bane. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Again to the Esports Fight League. It is tonight the start of Season 3 ESFL 121. We are back. Welcome to a brand new season. Nothing but content coming at you over the next couple of weeks. My name is Bailey, and of course, you know, or Alex is most fine. And we have a very special guest this evening, guys. We are having a true pleasure and privilege here in the Esports Fight League community to welcome Mr. Robin Black. A man renowned throughout the MMA community for his knowledge of martial arts, human movement, as well as his commentary skills, which he shall lend to the booth this evening. Robin, lovely to see you. How are you feeling about tonight? You excited?
Hey, Bailey. Yeah, man, thanks. This is going to be so cool. You know, we were talking about this off screen before, but, you know, fighting commentary and ideas and how we phrase things and how we share things and how we think about fighting becomes somewhat commodified. And here in an esports and a gaming environment, we can innovate a little bit. We can play with different ideas. And it's so cool to be here. There's a real similarity between this type of fighting and physical body fighting as it relates to the neurology. And I'm super stoked to dig into this with you guys.
Yeah. We're going to get into some insightful discussions tonight for sure, guys. So look forward to that. Of course, Mr. Bruce Lee Rob is here this evening. Rob, man, always a pleasure to see you. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Excited to be here with Robin and you, Bay, and the crowd out there. Season 3 of ESFL Esports Fight League. I can't wait. That was an amazing breakdown by Bane, Boiler, and Crooks, and it's hyping me up for this moment right here. Can't wait.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the pre-fight show. We will take a quick look at the fight card right now just to run through it one more time, go from top to bottom on it so you guys know what is happening this evening. So main event, of course, Zyaf is defending his Xbox title this evening. He is still the PlayStation champion, still the Xbox champion, but can he keep the form he kept last season and find victory tonight? We'll see. He's taking on the Elite Kings Dave. Dirty Dave has been grinding. He has been competing in the biggest tournament around in the UFC Esports League. He is ready to go tonight to challenge for that belt. Then we have Stylez and Yerda, co-main event. Yerda coming back. Don't forget about Yerda, showed nothing but elite skills against the best. Stylez, he was 3-4 last season, but we know how good this man can be. He is here tonight to prove himself. Then we have a very special new arrival from the KM camp intro here, coming in 0-0, first time in the ESFL, but he is tearing up the scene. He's taking on the veteran Trickzzy. We've got Jiri coming to represent. I know you guys are excited for him tonight, taking on the OG gangster, Mr. Hammer. T4H is sending in a new member this evening in Holloway, who we are all very excited to see. The cleanest member of the T4H camp, but I am excited to see this man perform against Killer Jake, someone else who's coming off a very long layoff, but 0-0 well, throughout UFC 4 here, making his season debut. And apart from that, we got still Fadenator on the card, Yidicus, Pablo Grips, Caliber, Peyton, Keza's here, Danny's here, Noetta is back after winning the Rumble a couple of months ago now, the roster Rumble. Don't forget about Noetta with the Kingsman making an appearance tonight. But apart from that, it is a stacked event, a very special stacked event, of course, because Robin's here, guys, so we have to bring a good event. So let's just throw to Bruce Lee, Rob. Anyone you're excited to see tonight, Rob?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to see Pablo Grips make his return. He's a long-term ESFL veteran, and he's just so good. 8-3, fighting a undefeated 2-0 caliber who doesn't have as much experience, but he's very dangerous as well. And then another person you got to look out for is Peyton, a little bit further down the bill, but he's the former UFC Esports champion fighting out of that notorious Vegas MMA camp. So it's going to be a big moment for Simple, you know, making his debut tonight, Bailey, and it's going to be incredible.
All right. Now, of course, Robin, you've never seen any of these guys compete, but, you know, we've talked a little about the theory behind the video game versus real life. What would you say would be impressive for you to see tonight from some of these competitors, Robin?
Yeah, I think flow, really, and at a high level, physical fighting is about flow. It's about taking in the information and quickly allowing yourself to make the decision. When you see somebody throw a punch or a kick or make a movement, we think about it in words, but the human mind, these are split seconds. We don't have time to think about it with conscious thought. So the ability to flow and allow yourself to do what you've trained, you pre-programmed your mind to be able to do in those moments. That's what I'm super stoked about. Guys, I'm really excited to be here with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, these guys will definitely display a flow. I'm sure everyone's got that own unique style, much like real fighting. So I'm excited for you to see that contrast here tonight as well. So apparently the fight card's just been updated. So let's take one look. All right. And I need to know in my ear what the changes are because I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, we don't see it.
Okay, I've not been told. Well, you know what, guys? I'll update you when we do know. How about that? Right, we have a excellent 12-fight card for you this evening. This first matchup here, they are ready to go. Oh, I've just been told. Go on, hit me with it. Okay, I'm not being hit with it. Never mind. All right, so first matchup of the night, we got Sheen making his debut, taking on Ginger, the Ginger Ninja. Rob, why don't you go ahead and break these two competitors down as we jump into this first matchup at light heavyweight?
No problem. So these two competitors are making their debuts tonight. So they've never, competed before, and it's going to be a big moment for both these guys. You have Ginja fighting out of that TMF camp, counter striker, heavy boxing combos, good head movement. He's 5-2 record in primetime, 100% finish rate with primetime. So he has experience in other organizations, but this is the ESFL. This is a lot different. Robin Black's watching, Balian's watching, I'm watching. You got a crowd, and so is Oisan MCG. He's a high-level pressure boxer, creative striking, great head movement, and I guess his name is pronounced Sheen, so I totally botched that one.
Real quick before we start here, Robin, what do you think of this Teixeira versus Blachowicz matchup?
It's interesting when you think about their choice of who to use. There'll be certain physical advantages that are in the characters themselves, and with Teixeira, he's a heavy guy that likes to take away the space. So we'll see if that's the game that he plays.
Yeah, there we go. Right, first fight of the night, guys. The season 3 is officially underway here. ESFL 121. We've got Sheen in the red gloves with Teixeira, Ginger Ninja in the blue. Nothing much so far, just getting the feel of the pace there. Nice lead hook into that straight right. Some nice fakes on the outside here as they try and read the rhythm, both holding the center of the cage very well. Definitely something that comes into play in the video game as well as real life, Robin.
You see something here that is in real life fighting as well as in gaming. Both guys are thinking offensively. That's why they're in tight. Now they take a space. Both have done damage. But when you're thinking offensively, it's more difficult to also pay attention to your defensive assignments. And when you see two people in tight, uppercuts, hooks, and low kicks, they're both thinking offensively.
No doubt, and that was a couple of good shots by Sheen there in the red. Ooh, another big uppercut lands. Good job, and he's backing up Ginja a little bit. You see that head health, his block meter blinking a little bit, and so far, Sheen is on the offensive.
Yeah, Sheen stepping into the pocket there in the range. We've seen a couple of those outside leg kicks from Ginger. Gonna have to be careful trying to throw those, especially lead body kicks when you're that close. The lead hook's gonna come out the straight right. Ginger now trying to create a little bit of space, fading back a little outside of that straight to the body. Nice outside leg kick, chopping low. He's done a fair chunk, and there's a pull counter on the lead hook. Tries to finish with a leg kick just out of range. But this is a dangerous game. Ginger's playing, trying to fade back and land those leg kicks. Doesn't want to get caught in that empty space, and that one got checked. Oof.
When you're fading back, you want to pull out a strike, move and strike, cause your man to miss. But both again, well, there we're throwing uppercuts and hooks, but both again are thinking so much more offensively than they're thinking defensively.
Yeah, no doubt, and you got to keep an eye on Sheen's left leg right now. He can't take much more punishment. He's got to check a couple of these as he lands a beautiful body kick there.
Yeah, they're pouring out the damage now. Great job by Sheen. They went lead hook to the body, lead hook to the head. Nice mix-up this time. Lead uppercut straight to the body. Catches a kick. Let's see if he gets a takedown off it. Nope, just going to walk to the cage. Break apart here, but this is bad for Ginger. Got his back against it. Going to have to recircle to the inside, and there's the fake on the uppercut, trying to get that pull counter going. Baits out a jab, but their lead hook catches him, tries to slip his head off the center line. Ginger firing back on the inside with a 1-2 lead uppercut, but there's a straight right pierces. 1-2 hits the block. Pull counter's not there, and this is now Sheen just marching down Ginger.
I love the way that he's pulling back, that he is pulling back. That's what we were talking about. The goal isn't just to throw more than he throws, but to make him miss and strike back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. You got to make him miss. You got to make him pay. And what do you think he can do better here, Ginja, Robin, to get back in this fight? I mean, it was a beautiful first round from Sheen with Glover landing heavy shots.
Sometimes it's not so tactical as it is performative. Oh, there he's striking on the inside. Nice. But it's not the choice of what tactic to throw. It's not about the tool necessarily, the guitar or the paintbrush. It's about the artist that uses the tool. So it is in the performance rather than in the choice of tactic.
Yeah, that's good comment there. That's the end of the first round. Fairly even back and forth. It looks like Sheen actually, I thought, was getting the better, but he landed less strikes in that first round than Ginger. So Ginger getting it done even while moving backwards, but Sheen definitely got some damage out that will carry over to the next round. Obviously, Robin, there's a recovery stat, so different fighters recover health and stamina better in between rounds. Both of these guys got pretty high recovery, because as you would expect in real life.
Yeah, well, in real performance, 5 minutes on and 1 minute of recovery is 20%. So perform for full and recover 20%. In early rounds at high levels, athletes can recover almost entirely in 1 minute.
Wow, that is some interesting stuff right there. And
Ooh,
uppercut
nicely hooked.
lead hook combination there for Oshin. He's still landing big punches, and I'm surprised that it was actually Ginja that was landing or had 22 significant strikes. You see that leg, that left leg there.
Oh, bringing up the block now.
Yeah, that left leg is blinking. He can't take more leg punishment there, Bailey. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, Ginger's getting his block beaten up right now. He's not able to keep those hands up. Just a continual offense from Oshin. He's not back down once it's a low single, but no, denied. Nice knee to the body. Gonna run into the cage here and break through to some nice hooks there again. That lead hand for Oshin, just working the body, working the head. He's going uppercut, lead hook, but there's a nice straight right. But Ginger's gonna have to pull something off, and there it is, turning sidekick to the head. Big rocket and uppercut to follow. Ginger's pouring it on right now. Oshin needs to cover up.
And he separates out and moves to the low kick. Yeah.
Robin, I was going to ask you, during these crazy moments, what is in the mindset of these fighters when they're in these dire straits, getting pounded with big shots?
So it's super important when your man is hurt to still think defensively. You want to think in terms of attack and defend, and defend, because you are vulnerable when you are swarming to finish something.
Exactly, Bailey.
Of course, as well. I mean, yeah, you want to be careful trying to get that finish, but if you don't give them a reason not to come forward, they're obviously going to keep walking you down. So well said there, Robin. As more damage is being ticked on that chin there for Ginger. Slowly the block is breaking down. Now the head health is low. Lead hook comes out. It's looking bad for Ginger. He's trying to cover up. Straight right lands. Ball counter though. He lands it. Double uppercut. He is finding a way back in this fight.
This is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. And now to the mount.
Oh man, it's over. It's over.
That quick, not a bad way to warm us up for the evening. Nice back and forth, slower pace to get going as you'd expect from this light heavyweight division, but they were landing damage, and like we said, Oshin seemed to be pushing the pressure, but Ginger landed more strikes in that first round, and by the time we get to the second, the accumulation of damage has added up. He was able to find the moment as Oshin continued to push forward while hurt, Robin, like you mentioned.
You said find the moment, and sometimes you find the moment, and sometimes you allow the moment to take place, and sometimes you create the moment. And when somebody is attacking at you, those moments are available to you. We will find, I think, as we progress later into the show, you'll see a lot more defensive capabilities. Here you saw both guys attacking each other, creating space, and there were little moments of rock, paper, scissor, and sometimes when that's the game, sometimes you're rock.
True. Yeah, you'll find that, I think, as we go deeper in the card, like you said, because we are starting tonight, as we go deeper, we will see higher level competition, and then you'll start to see them blend those defensive mindsets along with the aggression there. But Rob, I know you got some analysis, so.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Robin and push it back his way. So, Robin, if you're in a fight with someone and they start landing heavy leg kicks, how does that affect your game plan as a fighter eating those big shots on the leg? It must throw a wrench right in the circuits.
So mobility starts with the ground to the feet, to the legs, to the hips, to the core. So if we smash away at the legs, obviously the term of beat someone up, the way it's phrased in Thailand is we start low, we go to the body, and then you go to the head, beating them up, smashing from the ground and heading back up. It does make it more difficult to move as you take leg strikes, but as someone's attacking something that is vulnerable, they too become vulnerable. So if somebody gets a little too horny with smashing up the meat of my thigh, that will give me openings to land the counter punch. So it all flows. It's all a moving, living organism.
Yeah, and all of those concepts obviously apply in the game as well, Robin. We have leg health 100%. As a system, body health as a system. So yeah, that applies perfectly. Okay, so the other guys are just getting ready for the next match up here. But first fight done in the books. I'll tell you what, guys, that was a beautiful turning sidekick right there. That changed everything. He got that rock, he heard him, poured on the pressure, got the finish. But let's jump back to the fight card because there has been a change. I've just been told. Am I going to get told?
What is the change? Simple Benny versus Peyton in the early prelims.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we have Benny coming in to face Peyton now on the early prelims. That's actually the top of the prelims there. Simple Benny versus Peyton. You'll see it just before the main card kicks off. So he is replacing Well, I can't remember now because they've already taken it off the card, but that's the situation tonight. There we go. Yep. See, Robin's already written them down. There you go. So I should have I should have done that. There we are. All right, guys. So the next fight is ready. We're going to jump to lightweight. Here we have Satchmo Life taking on God Ate My Pig. Satchmo making his debut here for UFC 4, a name that we have seen around the scene, but God Ate My Pig coming back after a 3-3 record last season. Rob, what do you make of these two?
Well, you got Satch, making his debut tonight. He's a former IXC double champ, and he's always looking for the highlight win and loves to put on a show. A Wing Chun fighter, crafty submissions, heavy pressure. Now, he's going to face a veteran here, a very dynamic player in God Ate My Pig, 3-3, a veteran of primetime, and he's strong from side control. Watch out for his ground game, solid kickboxing, and very effective at his anti-grappling, so you got to be careful. He's a beast everywhere. This is a big test for Satch.
Yeah, big test for both. Big test for both. Interesting picks, but let's jump straight into the action here. Start of round one. God Ate My Pig in the blue glove. Satchmo there picking up the Tony Ferguson pick in the red glove. So, start of the action. Good so far. Starting with a taunt and then a bow. That's nice. But no response at all from God. He doesn't want any of that. Eats a nice 1-2 down the middle as he tries to close that range. Satchmo already planting the feet. Nice outside leg kick. Came back with a roundhouse, and we see a lot of stationary actions from Satchmo right here, Robin, not wanting to retreat or advance.
When somebody does try to taunt you or play a game, the most logical thing is just don't read it, don't allow it to affect you, and throw your cleanest technique. And that's exactly what we saw God Ate My Pig.
Yeah, very true.
Exactly. And a nice teep kick there, and into the clinch, tries to land a little uppercut, but misses. But this pressure, ooh, beautiful pivot movement to alleviate that pressure.
Oh, lovely level change as well with the elevation, pivoted into the lead hook to body, ended with the lead kick to the head. Nice, beautiful combination right there. That's the flow, Robin. You're seeing it now.
Yes, Satchmo Life is actually using the Ferguson approach extremely well, which is innovative and improvisational. It is difficult, in fighting. Weird is hard. Weird is hard. So when you do things outside of the realm of what people you normally face do, it's difficult to process. And you saw that with the head fake.
Exactly, and I listened to George St. Pierre talk about this, how you throw so many different things at someone's neurological brain. They go crazy, and it actually tires them out mentally and physically.
Oh man, Satchmo is just letting it go though. Lead flying knee after a nice, beautiful outside leg kick, body kick. I mean, like you said, Robin, he's mixing up here to great effect. Constant pressure, another lead head kick. That's not a technique we see a lot, Robin. It's not something people throw out because there's a lot of vulnerability in the lead head kick and not a lot of damage compared to the other kick.
You will hear people say, never throw a naked leg kick. Always throw the jab first. In fighting, rarely say always or never. Because doing the things that are, quote, wrong work very, very often, because the fact that your opponent believes they are wrong makes them susceptible to them.
No? Very true.
For sure. And you see even more pressure coming out from Satch now. But eats a big shot. Those stationary shots by God Ate My Pig are working out pretty well. They're faster and they're a little bit more powerful. But there's the takedown right into side control. And he has a great side control, but good defense there. My God.
Yeah, late denial, anticipated the turn off the double leg, so was able to counter that by blocking and pushing up on the left stick right there. And God Ate My Pig's taking a bit of damage with all those kicks from Satchmo, but now advancing, swarming, trying to put the pressure on. But this is what's been getting him tagged a little bit now and then. Satchmo got to be careful of the gas tank. Oh, pull counter, but another one there as well. Interesting fight.
Switch a stance to Satchmo. Listen, when somebody is throwing things at you that are unpredictable and they're trying to innovate and they're trying to improvise, the answer is fundamentals, jabs and low kicks. And that's what we see here from God Ate My Pig. The answer, go in, wrap the hands up, and drop them on his ass.
Beautiful.
Big slam there by God. Inside control, lands a sharp elbow, blood splurting out of the face of Ferguson right here. And great round, great ending to that round there, huh?
Yeah, well, you mentioned how good he was in side control. We just saw 3 denies in a row right there as Satchmo was trying to get out of that position. Every time he tried to move, instantly denied by God Ate My Pig. So if we do hit the mat again, it will be interesting. It was a great double leg finish against the cage. We don't see that animation that often. Like you said, Robin brought the hands together, but he did finish the takedown that will score. Apart from that, was fairly even. We're seeing a lot of slips from Satchmo, and now God planting and throwing those big hooks and haymakers in the pocket when Satchmo crashes forward with those kicks.
Mention the hands locking together as a rare animation. It's actually somewhat rare in physical combative fighting too, but when it happens, when the hands are joined, it is incumbent on you to complete the takedown. That is a almost completed takedown.
Foregone conclusion, you might say.
Exactly. And
those lead kicks that you, sorry,
Go
those
ahead,
lead
Robin.
kicks you talked about, they are rare and they are theoretically creating vulnerability in you.
Yeah.
So most people don't throw them. So if you get good at doing something most people don't throw, it's super effective.
Yeah.
Super effective, but not if you keep throwing them over and over again. You're gonna eventually God's gonna adjust to these, and I feel like he has a little bit here. But he lands a nice uppercut on the inside there, and there it is again. Though,
there
he
it is
lands it flush.
again. It's so Robin called that perfectly. We do not see it rarely, and he's using it to great effect right now. But God Ain't My Pig, we're seeing him just smash forward. He'll throw a 3-punch combination just to close the distance, and then he's got another 2-piece behind it, and it's that second combo that's already bled through the block and is doing the damage.
It's cool here. He keeps going to the back and then rotating his way in and rolls out.
That was
Awesome.
lovely.
Awesome. Yeah,
Great
super.
Defense from Thatch.
Ooh,
Swinging.
Yes.
Big block.
The overhand right against the southpaw is often available, but so is the left hook underneath the elbow, and he's firing.
Caught him spinning with a rear uppercut right there. Was he setting up the spinning elbow? Went right up the middle. Wasn't even looking at God Ain't My Pig as he got clipped under the chin. Now in this tight sprawl position, God holding top position well. 2 denies right there as Satchmo tried to transition out of this position. God goes to back sit. From here he can posture up and do some damage, but Satchmo recognizes that, denies it. Now goes for a knee bar, but that is also denied. And now he tries to roll through to full guard, denied again. God Ain't My Pig holding top position so well.
Really well commentated, brother. Beautifully done.
Thank you, sir. Did you hear
right
that,
down
everybody?
To the roll over the shoulder. Right down to the roll over the shoulder and the re-wrap, and now here in guard. What you'll notice here is fighting from guard. When Tony Ferguson, or in this case Satchmo Life, is choosing to fight from guard, in the world they tell you the guard doesn't work. So in the gyms, everybody just works to stand up. But if we're all working to stand up, the man on the top is not having his defensive abilities tested, and that's what we're seeing right here. Is he's going to move to the back.
Yeah, he's trying to see
all your training partners.
I believe this is, I mean, where did he hit this from? This is crazy. I'm not even, I feel like it's a twister, but it's not. Let's see where he ends up once he rolls up.
A necktie.
It is a twister. It is a twister. There we go, right. It's a weird, usually, okay. I got thrown off by the start of that submission sequence there. I was like, he's got a grip on the back hip, but there we go. Tried to go for the twister. Easily defended there by God Ain't My Pig in terms of how the mini game mechanic worked there, Robin, who pretty much easily defended that. It was kind of a desperation twister, but we're in the 3rd round. It will score points. It's down to this. Both men still standing. So he countered the counter. And now God running into the cage, trying to get that damage and see if he gets the trip again. Had a lot of success now on the back. This is dangerous.
It's really sweet the way he kicks out one knee and one ankle. And that is exactly how you slide down. And then he'll turn into him, but he'll slide and roll up onto the back as well. You notice the left arm is trying to grip, but now he's forced to cover up. Really good choice, and he's hurt.
Yeah, and he's getting pounded right now. Oh, here comes another submission. Is that from the bottom, Alien?
It is. Yes. Let's just
so you can roll to the knee bar here by rolling diagonally over your shoulder. You see it right there.
Yeah, and that, again, we talked about that with you, Rob, and this is not a move a lot of fighters have. If you're playing Tony Ferguson, you have the advantage of being in this position and being able to threaten with submissions. Not everyone can do this, but in terms of the minigame, the person attacking the submission is trying to get their bar on top of the person's bar underneath, so they're moving, trying to escape. That's how the minigame works, but snuck the knee bar in, now finds himself here inside control bottom. Yeah, try to get those little butterfly hooks in to return there to full guard. Does it that time. Nice work. And let's see what he can do here with Tony Ferguson. Going to fake on the hip with the armbar, go into a nice elbow double, fake on the hip, into the sweep, but denied. Good eyes there by God Ain't My Pig, who tries to pass with the momentum, but another deny. Really going back and forth. Great guard play here.
So you'll notice that God Ain't My Pig's hands are on the chest. If you take the hands into the armpits or the biceps, you'll gain more control as you flatten your man. There, he's looking to strike up the middle, but if those hands, and I'm not sure if that's, well, he moves to the mount, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Ooh, and he gets a nice deny there on that right side, has the grapple advantage. The bar on the top of the screen, Robin, whichever color it favors and fills up, that's, how you transition from, a position more.
Bar again.
Oh, here we
go.
Wow, man, relenting. And he canceled the animation and used it to get up. That's very smart play right there.
Very
Very
smart.
well done.
So
Back
people
to-
do actually attack
Ooh.
knee bars and heel hooks for that purpose.
Exactly. Yeah.
Force
There's
a
a lot of
reaction and create a gap to stand.
a lot of those jiu-jitsu camps don't even take mount, right, Robin, because of the threat of this this knee bar, the ankle attacks from that position now.
Some, but truthfully, straight
Beautiful
lefts
straight.
are hurting him. Yeah, straight lefts are hurting him. Truthfully, sometimes that is strategically an approach, but the higher level, they're the right hand counter and to the liver.
He's flying.
It's a sick fight.
Oh my
It is.
God, Satchmo is pouring out the tank. He's throwing everything. Went for the switch lead, double flying knee business, but came off the block. Now God Ain't My Pig pouring all the stamina, slips to the outside, but eats that body kick, all that stamina gain from the
20
evasion.
seconds. Oh,
Double
spinners.
for the back fist. Oh, no stamina, and the combo caught him. Knee hook into the straight left.
Oh my
They are just
goodness.
warring. There's only 5 seconds left. Okay, Robin, who do you think won that
I
fight?
don't. Yeah, that is a very difficult call.
Tough. It's very tough.
I think God Ate My Pig may have won it, but we shall see.
It's also a video game.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to
We'll
the
see. We'll see. They're gonna let the
Was it
announcement
just
play.
me?
Was
Was it just me, or was that round longer than it seemed?
No.
Or it felt
No,
longer
for
than it
sure.
was?
Just you, Robin. There we go. God
There
Ain't
you
My
go.
Pig. He gets the nod. Well called there, Robin. So the pressure, the damage,
close.
definitely pulling things back in that third round. Avoided all the submission attempts, controlled well on the ground, landed ground and pound, stifled everything Satchmo tried to throw out there. But it was a really interesting battle of Satchmo playing that patient game and then coming forward with aggression and the creativity of those combinations.
We saw the threat and the danger of attacking in the irregular, which is what Satchmo Life was doing, was being irregular in the way that they fought. You go in the gym every day, and your training partners make certain choices that are quote correct. Satchmo chose the quote incorrect. The way you defeat that is going back to fundamentals and simplicity. That's what God Ate My Pig did and was able to win.
Fantastic. I love it, Robin. Rob?
Yeah, exactly. And God's ability to play around, and we all know how dangerous Tony Ferguson's guard is and where he fights from the bottom, but he's played a little bit down there, and he did pretty good as well, and he got the win and landing some big shots. And I think what changed the game was his ability to land those stationary bombs, Balian, and really adapt to the striking, the irregular striking that Robin brought up. Those lead head kicks, they were landing a lot, but I think God finally got his footing later in the rounds.
Yeah. They landed
One thing
Go ahead, Robin.
I'd add for you guys, for people watching at home, don't buy in to these narratives that we hear. Never do this, always do that, always keep your hands up, never throw a naked leg kick. If you believe that and I'm fighting you, I now know your belief system and I will exploit it. We say this in commentary, we say these things, but they are not true in combat.
So it's very interesting, Robin, as well, because you'll get in this game, as well as any video game, a meta, right? Where an established set of techniques is applied and understood as this is the correct way to play and don't make these mistakes. But then as soon as the meta gets established, someone will come along with a new technique, understanding the existing meta and finding a way to counter what is regular by being irregular. Like you said, Robin, the art of war. There we go. So know thyself, know thy enemy. If you know the meta, you can exploit it. And then the meta changes and you just go.
100%. And let's just really quickly use this example. Against the southpaw, always keep your lead foot on the outside. That is absolute horseshit. If I know you believe that and I know you're playing that game, I'll find the inside line. All of these things we think we know, they're very, very low level understanding. They're not truths. They're merely novice truths. At a higher end, you exploit the belief.
All right, there we go. Fantastic stuff. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We've still got a couple more to get through. 9, maybe more. So we're going on to EK sending in a team member tonight. The first time for them. Elite Kings Slick will come on through this evening. He's taking on the new camp, the Kingsman's Noetta, who had a fantastic showing at the Roster Rumble, earning his place in the ESFL by winning that tournament. So Rob, why don't you go break these two down, please?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got KM Noetta. He's well-rounded, patient, always dangerous. 0-1, has yet to taste victory yet in the ESFL, and he's fighting a veteran 9-5 Elite Kings Slick ESFL and Esports title challenger. And he says he's looking to showcase his new striking skills tonight. He's Bangkok ready, aggressive top game, and effective on the back foot. Robin, how good is it to be effective on that back foot?
Hey man, if I can draw you forward, and while you're attacking, the three of us discussed this earlier. There are different hierarchies of defensiveness, and the
Right.
highest level of defense choice is to intercept your attack, not get hit, and instead hit you. And that's what you can do when you're retreating and inviting.
There we go. Hopefully we'll see some of that. There we go. Slick in the red gloves with the Jorge Masvidal pick. Noeta going with the Vicente Luque pick here. So fairly evenly matched up in terms of their weapons in the game. It's all going to be a battle of ranges and techniques and shot selection. Making your opponent fall into the traps you set, and also not getting those unforced errors. We see the outside calf kick there. Noeta whiffing big on that head kick. Trying to get the hands down to block that lead left leg. Vicente Luque not having the best stance switch, so if he does get beaten up and forced into southpaw, he will have a big hit to the power, but now returns the leg kick. A little battle of ranges here, Robin.
Yes. So ranges are our relationship at distance. The more distance we have, the more time our brain has to process. Then we add the extra element, and you're seeing this from Slick, the element of heights as well. So, and bear in mind, the range at which we are standing can change when we lean, in or out.
Exactly.
So
and
our feet are in a particular range, but our weapons and targets can be in other ranges.
And that's what it means to be an elite fighter in this game, is knowing where you are and what strike to select from, Robin, because if you're out of range, you're going to miss. If you're too close, you might be stifled a little bit. So you got to be very point with, your range management in the game and in real UFC.
There's a huge commitment to that outside calf kick right now from Slick. He's slamming it in there. Noeta trying to return. Interesting that they're both choosing to beat up the lead leg here. There's a nice front kick. Rear uppercut follows into the lead hand, but nothing there. Jabbing in a little too close and baits out that pull counter from Noeta as he tries to set up something, but there's nothing there. Slips the jab. Now trading on the inside. We see a first clinch attempt into a hip toss. Lovely job, but late deny right there. Gets the underhook right back to the feet. And it's back to war.
Hip toss is a very simple mechanism. We create a ledge with our leg, and we create rotation, and bing, we hit you to the ground.
Here we go.
Yeah, and in the game, you got to watch out for those. If you get up close and you get hip toss, you're going to the ground. But that late denial, hitting that L2, R2, beautiful stuff so far. Good fight. And EK Slick is coming forward with some good bounce with Jorge Masvidal. Oh, check there.
Big damage on that lead leg flashing. Go ahead, Robin.
So you'll see at a lower level, we think the calf kick is the greatest weapon in the world. The calf kick is so dangerous to the thrower. We're starting to see guys break their legs. We're going to see, we've seen guys get knocked unconscious. Corey Anderson got knocked unconscious by, I'm forgetting, but throwing an overhand against a low leg kick. It's a very dangerous weapon. Again, we think as we watch it, the calf kick is free. The calf kick is not free. The calf kick is dangerous to throw.
Especially on the inside, right, Robin? You want to go inside with it, especially southpaw orthodox. Go on, Robin.
Right. I even thought that it was, I thought the calf kick was the new meta, if you will, of the real UFC, but I appreciate that analysis because I guess I was thinking on a novice level there. I was like, the calf kick's taking over.
Oh, man. I mean, that's taking a lot of damage.
Our low level of understanding is, oh my God, look at this tool, but it's simply a tool. You see there, and the tool is the same. There he's hitting the quadricep insertion. At the calf, you'll hit the insertion below the knee or the curvature of the calf muscle, but it's all the same weapon. It appears meta to the novice mind, but to the higher level, it's already something that is being countered. Most fighters would rather have someone throw a calf kick at them than be forced to throw a calf kick.
Wow, right. Interesting. And in the game, I'm so glad they added the calf kick, Ambe. Here we go, round number 2.
Great animation as well. They really did a good job. But there's that inside leg kick. Be careful with that one. We just talk about checking it, especially because that left leg is already hurt. So if that did get checked, that would have been huge damage. But now an inside fight gets the head kick up there nicely to the outside right.
There's the shot.
That rear right hand, and there's the takedown. Denied. Knees coming in here, but they're both blocked. But gets a little trip afterwards. Lands into a beautiful body head work right there from Slick. Now on top. Let's see how good his ground game is versus Noeta. Now Noeta, the new guy, we haven't seen him tested. The EK boys, Robin, they're very good at grappling, so let's see what Noeta can do from the back as well. But
I like the way that Slick is staying low to high to low. Low is safest, high is most defensive. You notice that when Noeta was the one who instigated the grappling, but ended up on their back. That's why you see hesitation when people go to grapple. People are like, why doesn't he take him down? Well, if I grab you, I also put myself in jeopardy. Here from half guard, you see Slick being able to control the inside. It's called inside control. Keeps the weapons to the outside and gives you a straight line to attack.
Yeah, and Slick is just meeting all these transitions with the denial, and he's just maintaining. There's the posture up, and he's going to be able to do some damage. But like Robin said, he's staying safe and staying defensive. He's trying to, you know, control position and not lose it.
Yeah, that's why he's hanging
We
out.
saw earlier, you
was
guys
this-
saw earlier, Satchmo Life called himself a Wing Chun fighter. That type of striking inside is essentially the modern Wing Chun.
There we go.
Interesting.
Nice job right there. So he jumped on the back. Noeda chose to slam instead of let him ride that position. Now hand fighting right here. Gets 2-on-1. Tries to roll through. Buddy follows him. Now in backside. Still on top here for Slick. Yeah, and he's got time to work. 140 takes him back to the mat. Both hooks in now. This is a very dangerous position for Noeda. One mistake. That rear naked choke is coming. Let's see if he can find a
You'll
way
see
out.
Noeda's controlling 2 hands on one. That is a way to protect your neck. But when you do that, you leave Slick's other hand free to strike.
Right, and those strikes will add grapple advantage and will allow him to do the rear naked choke or go to the top mount. But right now he's just hanging out on backside. There he goes. He's going to transition right to back sitting, Bailey. And woohoo!
There's some good jiu-jitsu from
again?
Slick. Very slick.
2 hands on one. 2 hands on one protects the neck, but the other hand is free to strike.
Yeah, and he is getting hit with it. Fortunately, those strikes won't be knockout blows, at least in the context of this video game. But they will still add up, chip away, and like Rob said, build up the grapple advantage, which will allow you to set other things up, much like in real life. But he rolls back through here, full guard. Let's see if there's another pass coming through. Noeda's not really made any attempt to return to defeat. There's a hip fake right there. Goes to the outside, tried to grab a Kimura. He gets it locked in.
Kimura.
Kimura, yeah, there definitely isn't enough time to finish this, but, you know, there you go. All right, into the second round.
So that Kimura to guillotine to sweep, that is a white belt sequence that great fighters will use throughout their entire life. You can learn that in the first month of jiu-jitsu, but you can use it for the rest of your life.
There we go.
Caro Parisian.
All right, they touch gloves right now. Round 2, very close first round. Actually, we're in the third round. Excuse me,
We're in
round
the third
3.
round,
This fight is flown by. I'm very impressed with Noeda so far. We haven't really talked about the fact that this is his ESFL debut tonight against EK Slick. He earned a place here by winning a tournament, but toe-to-toe on the feet, he's done very well. On the ground, he's been controlled a little, but not been finished or taken a massive amount of damage. But in this third round, he needs something to win this fight. Like a nice ducking uppercut right there, but just not enough.
And now he's hip thrown and straight to the scarf side control where the under leg is up, lifting up the left shoulder.
Yeah, and now that was Slick, you know, initiating. And talk about, Robin, what does it mean when you're, you know, making a debut? What do those nervous energies, those jitters do to your performance? Do different people feel different things? I got to hear your take on that.
So whether we're fighting digitally or physically, there are neurological and biochemical changes that happen. You know, your testosterone drops, your cortisol rises, all these stress hormones are in the body, and it negatively affects performance.
No doubt. No doubt.
Let's see if Slick
But
maintains
you're
top
right.
control.
Noeda was doing quite well.
Yeah,
He is.
Oh, there
Now
is
on top,
Noeda.
finally.
Yep, now trying to... No, when thought about the Kimura, actually use that as a fake to get back to the feet, into the switch kick to the body, right on the liver. That's good, but immediately the hip toss again. That is not good for poor Noeda, who showed up here tonight, definitely able to stand and bang with the best guys in the world. But we are being shown right now, not only the takedown defense, but the ability to get back to the feet might be something he needs to go and work on.
Slick used that hip toss thrice. And it's because he has figured out that it works. Let's see if he'll look for it a 4th time. When you find that you have a very large advantage over somebody else's ability,
big right hook.
up kick!
Beautiful up kick
And
there.
then the up kick.
And that's what saves fighters in this game, Robin. When they're down, you can really throw that up kick a lot, actually. So, huge moment not to get pounded out. But it's interesting, guys.
Another
Slick
one.
lands another right hand. He's going for the kill. A little bit out of range. He's surviving.
That
He's
right hook
wobbly.
whipping around. Unfortunately, there's a lead left hook. There we go for the finish. Push him forward now. Another lead left hook on the mat. Here comes the ground and pound. Surely. Is he going to finish? Oh,
No.
look at that.
Nice little slip there to alleviate that pressure and get the... but he eats a knee right to the
Oh, no.
dome. Oh, my
Again.
goodness.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he's
He's
coming.
hanging in there.
Oh! There it is.
Big
Right
pull
right.
counter elbow. Robin, what do you think of that?
So actually, wonderful exchanges, but Twice we saw Slick really hit with the up kick. There's the elbow in tight, and that was a range effect here. As the left hook was coming, the right elbow comes inside. But twice we saw him up kick. Guys, correct me. Are you able to come in with your hips forward to be able to avoid that up kick? Because in grappling physically, we come in behind our hips with our head back to avoid being hit with that up kick. Does that option?
Within the mechanics of the game, if you knock someone down, if you press the button to punch, you will jump on top and try and punch. If they press up kick, they will up kick you as you jump in. But you don't have to. If you don't press jump, if you don't press punch, and you just move forward, it will adopt that stacked position. So that is an option. You can just walk. And most people drop someone they want to hurt them, they jump back on and try and finish the fight, and then they can get up kicked. So,
if the answer to whenever I drop you, I may be able to jump and strike you. An up kick comes. You can fake the jump to draw the up kick to pass the legs. That would be the approach to take.
Definitely, that is something
Robin's
you will
already
see,
a pro,
Robin.
Bailey.
You already know, Robin. You know how this works.
Are you sure you haven't played before?
This is exactly what we were talking about. This is a digital model of real life. Then the digital model can be exploited with real life strategies and tactics. That's the beauty of it. This is why I wanted to hang out with you guys. This environment allows a higher level of thinking and a higher level of discussion. And let's face it, fight commentary is commodified and repetitive and ritualistic, and we're able to explore this in much more meaningful and interesting ways here at the ESFL.
I'm having a damn good time, Robin.
Exactly. There we go. Right. We are already on to fight number 4 tonight. It is a 12-fight card. We are jumping back. We're jumping into bantamweight for the first time here this evening. Quite a good division on the game here, Robin. Very fast exchanges. Always a very popular division amongst the esports scene. So we got Kezala, I believe, or Kezala, if you want to do, the Scouser. I'm sure that is associated with, but never mind. On the other side, Game Room 209 coming in to take him on. So Rob, why don't you go ahead and break him down?
Yeah, here we go. So we're looking at Keza, 1-0, has a win, trains a lot with the camp, the Dons. He's a dual console aggro champion, whatever that even means. He's got great counters, adapts well to any situation. He can fight against any style. He's going against Danny, who's 2-6, is on a little bit of a skid right now, trying to get his footing, looking for a win to get back in the flow of things. He's had some close fights against the most elite ESFL talent. He's always looking for the finish. He's well-rounded. He's got the veteran fight IQ, boys. Here we go.
And we're getting Jan versus Jan as well, so should be high pace, right to the center, no time wasting, both going with the two-piece combination, starting with that straight, ending with either the lead hook, the body kick, nice work on the inside, already use of that teep sidestep, the side kick into a lead hook, nice work by Game Room, but this is non-stop aggression right now, Robin.
Yes, it is. And when two are meeting in the middle, we're playing a bit more of a risky game, right? And again, I expect as we go on and we see the more experienced fighters, there'll be less of this chaos early, because the early chaos can affect us deeply when we're both fresh.
Exactly. Great point. As the bill, we get to the main events and the better fighters. Not that these fighters aren't great. They do stay a little bit further back, a little bit more technical, slow pace. And these guys are crashing in the middle. But what can you want more from a fight with Peter Jans? Two of them fighting together.
And something you will find, Robin, some people like to create that kind of a fight, as in real life, as in this game. And some people are very good at it. Game Room getting the best of that exchange right there. Tries to finish with that beautiful head kick off the same side straight. Doesn't land. And a nice slip straight there to counter from Kez, who holds his ground in the middle, but he got rocked big and hard. And now the planted hooks are just firing out for Game Room. Oh, another one.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, did Game Room take this on very short notice, or was Game Room scheduled to be?
I think Game Room is also Danny. Sometimes gamer tags don't match their names on the scout report because people can change those. So yeah, Game Room was scheduled, aka Danny is his name.
Nice. Well, that turning sidekick creates distance. That's part of the beauty of it. It forces somebody back, then you can either invite them forward or push on.
Yeah, and it's very dangerous in this game, Robin. When you sidestep that, there's a lot of vulnerability that can land a huge hook, so watch for Keza to maybe try to sidestep that if he, makes a read on it.
Yeah, we're seeing a very good range control right now here from Game Room. He's just
again.
range for all these punches. He's pulling Kez in, covering beautifully with the hook, touching his chin, really making Kez enter his strikes. Heading beautifully. Leg. So big damage and neck starts, but he still has the head firing back though, trying to keep off him.
So when we move to our second best stance, we move to our second best defenses as well. And that's why sometimes the stances will not be even. We move into an area where we're even more vulnerable. So we protect us one leg, but we open up other targets.
Exactly, and he has to stay in that stance because his left leg is so damaged, and Game Room is doing a phenomenal job at just cracking him with big shots. And there's the takedown, and he gets it.
Nice. Finished it.
So Game Room threw the turning sidekick and the penetration step for the takedown, both times when the hands were up. So forced a protective reaction, and then initiated either the turning sidekick or this time the takedown.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but great timing on that. I mean, Game Room is in control of this fight right now. Just touching him with all these different shots, jabs, straights, that big right hook's coming in. So Kez has to do something different here. He's got to change up the game plan. He can't give him the same look he gave him in round one, because Game Room is just going to make more and more reads, find the timing for the shots, find which weapons are most effective. Oh, he slipped a knee with a lead hook, but gets up kicks again. There you go.
That up kick, you've got to draw it and then move around it. You can't, because that up kick's coming every single time, and if it's going to come every single time, we have to act around it.
Yeah, he's got to use some.
That's completely right.
He's got to use some footwork and draw out the head kick and then dive in, or step up to his legs and use his hips, like you said, Robin. And
or
right
hesitate.
Now, oh yeah, or hesitate. Yeah, exactly. That's what the players do. They hesitate, let the kick fly, and then they initiate.
Yeah, if you do hesitate and they press the button, they will just kick at nothing, and it will create
then
a
you
big
go over.
moment in time. They obviously knew what they were doing, but we're closing. Actually, no, we're coming up to the halfway point in the fight right now. The amount of damage that is accumulating on the head, as well as that lead left leg, which he's put back in front, gone back to orthodox.
Oh, he's hurt.
They've actually switched sides here, so Kez did just get dropped.
Because the up kick again.
Put it on, and the up kick. I feel like you got to make the assessment or the decision. Or take a look at why that is still happening, Robin. Is it just, do you think, reaction,
Yeah, well, yes, it worked, right? So it worked, so it became your intuitive programming. It no longer works, so you have to reprogram yourself. The way we trained ourselves to do is you're down, I punch. But our opponents trained to, I'm down, I up kick. So we need to exploit their reaction instead of let them exploit ours.
Oh, and there's a huge Jose Aldo-like leg kick, just smashes the left leg again and forced to go southpaw. Game Room in control right now in the second round.
Yeah, I love how Game Room will throw a stationary jab and then sometimes the forward-moving jab. There, he just threw the straight way out of range, but used it to set up the body kick. So that was really nice work there as well. Touching the chin, that's a big right hook. Another up kick, though. So, man, Game Room needs to relax a little, maybe, Robin. And he can finish this fight. There's a right hand this time he gets it, though. Okay, no defense, and here comes the straight shots. Nice head movement, trying to stay in the fight. Is he gonna? There we go. Too much damage, and a TKO win. Great work by Game Room. Wow.
That up kick, I think I don't know if we'll see it on the replay, but on the last time he hesitated. He hesitated, drew the up kick, and then used that reaction to pass the guy.
Yeah, it took him a little time to finally make that adjustment. Oh, there's that right hand.
Here it is. Hesitate in.
Yep.
Oh, we don't get to see it. Well, yeah. You are right, though, Robin. You are completely right. He did get dropped. There was that moment of time, and that was the one he got the finish on. That what led to the finishing sequence. Shot ground and pound, postured up full guard, laid it on. Unfortunately, Kez not able to survive the onslaught there. So the win does go to Game Room, aka Danny. And to be fair to Danny, he was 2-6 coming into this. So yeah, I mean, he had a lot of fights last season, got a lot of losses against high-level competition, but that has got to feel good to kick off this start of Season 3, and he takes the O as well from Kez. So there we go, no longer undefeated is Kez. Right, we're going to move on now to the top of the prelims, the last fight on the prelims. Here tonight, we have the return of a longtime member and competitor in this community, a member of Vegas MMA. He will be representing tonight, but he's taken on a short notice replacement in Simple Benny, who, he has a win over Suave Jamie, apparently, in primetime, which is pretty impressive, but we don't know anything about Simple Benny. But Rob, why don't you try and break it down anyway?
Yeah, that's very impressive. Suave Jamie is one of the best players on Xbox, the captain of the Don's Fight Camp, and Simple Benny has a huge moment right now to really steal the thunder of Peyton, who's 5-4, former UFC Esports champion, trains in Vegas MMA, elite head movement, good boxing combos, Robin Black level fight IQ, Bink, and Simple Benny is just, he's got a huge moment here, a big test, and Peyton, he's got, the pressure's on Peyton right now. The pressure is on Peyton.
That's right, Robin?
So very kind of you to reference Fight IQ, but the idea of Fight IQ is a narrative. It's a buzzword. The concept, that's like saying, IQ in general. Like, there are so many different ways that one can intelligently change from how you manage your energy, from how you make decisions. Somebody can be extraordinarily good in one area of decision making and poor in others. So that general nature that we do as a narrative is fairly inaccurate. Very kind of you to say. Also, what is smart today changes as the game itself changes. Peyton, you said, comes from that Vegas team, who I know was an OGs. Well, the militant system were once OGs as well, and later people changed to be able to defeat them. So the game itself changes. What is smart today becomes antiquated tomorrow.
Yeah, very, very true there. They're taking a little while with their picks here. It will be at featherweight. We'll see who they lock in. We'll get a little word from the back if it does take too long here, but okay. So we're going to jump back to the booth here for a quick second because they're going to just make some changes to the audio, make sure we have the crowd volume because we like to hear them screaming in our ears, gets us all riled up there on that one. But this is an interesting test for Peyton, and you got to give props to Peyton, who's had some tough losses and some great wins, but he's still here getting after it, ready to show up at the start of a brand new season, begin this season right. Now, short notice opponent, Robin, how do you think that would affect someone like Peyton tonight?
So the more experienced you are, the better, because a short notice means I don't know what he's going to do. Right? I have no idea who he is, where he comes from, what his choices are, his tactics, and his tools. So you have to be capable of flowing within all situations. The more novel and experienced, the tougher it is for the brain to deal with. So by being experienced, less things appear novel to you, and you're able to handle it more comfortably. So I assume, or I can guess, that Peyton should be good at handling the unknown.
Yeah, right. Well, hopefully that will show here through tonight as well. While they're setting this up, I want to just bring something up. We talked about pre-show, actually, with Robin, who actually was brought in during the development of UFC 3, guys. And I know everyone in here will know there was a big change in the striking system from 2 to 3, a real total reimagining of how we're going to input a variety of strikes, being able to strike from every angle, every position that the human body can represent. The man who they actually brought in to discuss all that with Brian, with the dev team, was Mr. Robin Black, guys. So we have to thank this man for basically revolutionizing the striking system in some part. I don't know how much, but by what I've heard, Robin, quite a big amount. Can you want to explain a little bit to people?
Well, I signed a non-disclosure to not talk specifically about it. Okay. However, what I can tell you is they are geniuses. And although my job was simply to take these brilliant people and then show them a different way to look at how human beings fight. And my feeling was at that time that 2 years later, when the game came out, people would really understand the ideas of ranges and distance and the relationship of space and time from my weapons, targets, and feet to your weapons, targets, and feet. So all I was really brought in to do was take these brilliant digital minds and teach them that simple, basic connection of how human beings interact with each other in space. And I was blown away by how brilliant these human beings were. And it was a real thrill to be in a room with all of these different minds that have different jobs, and their environment is super cool and their team is super cool. And like, it's a badass environment with a badass group of people.
All right, hell yeah. Well, man, yeah, sounds good. Thank you again. Thank you. Right, these guys are ready, so let's jump back to the fight. Looks like they're gonna lock the picks in here. Peyton's idling over Volkanovski, Benny over Holloway here. Let's see what they lock in as we move on through to this fight. So this is the top of the prelims here tonight, guys. So after this, we do have another 7 fights on the main card. Nothing but big names. Of course, Zyaf defending his belt tonight. He has both belts, in case you didn't know, holding on to them, retaining them as we move in towards Season 3. So he's the Xbox champion, the PlayStation champion as well. Xbox title is on the line tonight. Tough test in EK's Dirty Dave, but that is our main event. There's plenty more coming your way. And they locked those picks in. I believe it was a Holloway v. Holloway mirror match. So this should be nothing but non-stop pace, pressure, aggression, relentlessness, maybe a little bit of helicopter Holloway with some spinning shit. We'll see. But it's probably, I mean, it's going to be a tough test for either man here. I like that they kind of try to cancel each other out by taking Holloway here, a man that has gas tank for days. But here we go. Start
Big moment for Simple.
the matchup. Yeah, indeed it is. Benny coming in on short notice in the blue gloves. Peyton, the veteran, in the red.
There's a beauty in selecting the same character and making it about our mental and reflexes and our choices rather than the characteristics of the individuals that we're playing.
100%.
Yeah, and you got to watch for Peyton because his style, his camp, they're so good at aggressive fighting, utilizing that footwork to make their opponent miss and then make him pay.
Yeah, Benny swinging wide here, just out of range, just going to whiff on those big hooks. That will tax his stamina. And, oh, man, Peyton stringing together 4-5 combinations now, ending with the uppercuts on the inside. There's a little one-touch to the body, little jab fake there to close the distance, slip straight. I mean, he is just reading Benny's reactions, predicting them, and then countering.
So Benny played a little pull, made you pull, and when you came back in, he threw the front kick. That was a really sweet little exchange.
Yeah, that was nice. Clipped Peyton as he was leaning back, too. Backed him up a little bit, and you're noticing a little bit more of a technical fight as we get to this main event of this prelim here.
I love the use of the jab into the lead hook right there from Peyton, trying to dictate this fight, trying to set a pace, but Benny now pushing forward a little. Good job from Benny just to change the narrative that's been set forth so far by Peyton. Going to rewrite that now. Double jabbing, trying to close the distance, but he leaves his feet there and gets met with a bunch of hooks. Now we're still playing this little tit-for-tat pull counter game, but there's a nice 1-2 right down the middle from Benny, who's now mixing things up with the front kicks again, changing things up here, Robin, is Benny.
You know, there was a time when Jose Aldo and Barao were both champions with pressure fighting, and then the game changed and people looked for ways to exploit pressure fighting, TJ Dillashaw, etc. That's kind of what I'm sensing from Peyton. Peyton has a pressure. And then if you remember, after Aldo lost to Conor McGregor, when he fought Frankie Edgar, he was the one backing up. And I see that in Peyton's game. If their team was very pressure oriented, now it's a push-pull game.
Yeah, very good stuff there, Robin. And you're noticing Peyton just tagging Simple time and time again, breaking down that block, but also breaking down that head hold. But, you know, Simple's still in this fight. He's not totally out of it. It's still very close.
Yeah, Peyton slowed down on the offense, going less with the hooks, now mixing things up. Was a nice knee to the body, went into that lead body kick there, just touching up the liver. They both stayed orthodox so far for the whole fight. I mean, you have a switch stance stat on Holloway that allows you to fight comfortably from both positions. Obviously, that mirrors his abilities in real life. So we'll see if there's a start switch, but now crashing forward with the right hand. And as soon as he did, Benny got that pull counter in there, Robin. So nice of Peyton to slow the aggression immediately and not get straight back on the accelerator.
You know what's super cool is, yes, Holloway will have the stance switch to stay the same, but these two humans, Peyton and Benny, they may not operate the same from right as left, right? So although the character that they're playing does, they themselves may operate better, preferably from orthodox, which is what we're seeing them both do.
Very, very true. And there's round number one. You see Peyton has the significant strike advantage by 2. We get the luxury of actually seeing the judges, well, not the judges scoring, but, you know, what's happened so far. So it's pretty good. I want judges, what do you think about open scoring there, Robin?
Man, in certain different, I get to commentate all different martial arts all over the world, and some of them there is open scoring, and the fighters love it. The fighters themselves love it, and it changes the action. Yeah,
right.
They know what to do. They know what they need to do. But I also know what you need to do, and you know what I need to do. So it creates a fascinating dynamic, right?
Right.
Very true, very true. We're back here, getting deep. We're getting into the second round. Excuse me, there's the hip toss attempt, but nice deny, got the sticks down nice and quick. Back on the feet, where I think Benny's done a great job hanging in here with a veteran like Peyton. This is Benny's debut in the ESFL. They have switched sides now, so we have Benny on the left in the blue gloves, Peyton on the right. Little try to fake that front kick to close the distance, but the hooks were just waiting for him, and he unloaded there. The head health getting very low, and there's a nice switch kick to the liver on the break, using that little momentary break in the boxing action to just change ranges. Nailed him with the liver kick, and there Peyton retreating with the hands up nicely, looking for his opportunities. And now Benny's under pressure, moves right into that, and there's the up kick again.
Yes. It's a theme of the night. You know, Benny moved to linear attacks, so Peyton moved to circular attacks.
And that's important to do, to make those reads, Robin.
Yes.
Oh,
Interpret his approach and then find the answer to it, knowing that he will interpret mine and then reset. And that is the dynamic. It is a living organism, ever changing.
oh man. Well, Benny's trying to hang in there against Peyton, but the aggression I feel is getting him into trouble when he tries to initiate that offense. He did that real lead leg front fake again, and last time he did that, it didn't end well, but this time slightly better. Tried to set up the spinning elbow with it, but he's just getting tagged entering now. This is a case of where Peyton can be as patient as he wants. He knows he's ahead. He knows he's not hurt. Oh, he got hit with it.
He's hitting it right now,
Benny now trying to swarm and finish the fight. Peyton
that was
trying to find his
close.
way back to the feet against the cage deep on this underhook now. Let's see if a few more shots come in or Peyton can break, but he has to go into recovery mode, Robin.
And that, when you're in this position and you're held up and there's a line to your body, you must work defensively and take away the lines. And that's what he did very well. He recovered very well, and here he's covering up uppercut.
Oh! Benny's letting go! He's going to finish him! Coming in short notice.
Beautiful
oh,
slip.
beautiful sweep to full.
Sweep
Wow,
them out.
this is bad. This
Very
is bad.
Fundamental sweep. Yep. Fundamental sweep to full mount.
Oh,
Yep.
that's bad as well. Benny gets denied. Now's a nice slicing pass to full mount one more time. Gonna break posture up. Here come the shots. Benny trying to frame those hooks and get his head off the center line. But he took a few on the block. Still has enough head health to stay in there. But this is panic mode for Benny. He has to stay calm, find a way out. Two straight shots, double hooks coming out. There's the kill shot, goes straight right. And although we saw a little bit of a comeback from Benny following that head kick, he had still taken a ton of damage. Too much, in fact. And there is the sweet, sweet finish for Peyton, which, like you said there, would have been a little nerve-wracking entering that fight, right? Coming in against a short-nosed opponent, but he maintained his composure, Robin, and he finished very well.
From that mount position, what Peyton was trying to do is vary linear and curved strikes and vary the cadence. So linear strikes are going to block this way, curved strikes, I'll work around it. But if I vary the cadence, I can draw out your response and then work around it. Really, really sweet, sweet finish. But you're right, that back and forth, that chaos, often it puts us both at risk, but in the long run, it will favor the more experienced man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in those
Go on, Rob, go.
Yeah, and I was gonna say in those dire moments, Balian, when Peyton was underneath, almost being finished by two devastating shots, and then he was in full mount getting pounded, that ability to stay cool, calm, collected, slip that straight punch, which created the scramble, and then he was in the advantageous position, which allowed him to get the finish, is a testament to his experience, his training with Vegas MMA, and just his overall, that's why everyone's so hyped on this guy.
Yeah, composure always a key word in this game, and I think that's another word that we can reference. Well, cadence is another thing in this game that, of course, mirrors real life fighting. Mixing up cadence, strike timing, you can definitely do that, and especially in those ground and pound sequences where you saw Robin one slip and the position reversed completely. So by mixing up the cadence, you're trying to avoid that as well. So fantastic! It's a pleasure to have Robin here tonight.
It's so fun to be here. It's a really interesting thing on some level. The difference when we were earlier talking about the choice, this weapon or this tactic against the other, sometimes it's performative. And what that comes down to is the speed at which we experience the fight or the game. The more experienced fighter can actually experience the game in slower motion with a calm state, with sort of Bruce Lee called it a choiceless awareness, where we simply watch ourselves make the right decision. And that's what experience gets you.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, we're going to move straight on to the main card now, guys. We have 7 fights coming up for you this evening. The first of which is a fantastic matchup. We're jumping to lightweight, and a good way to get things started as well with Yeetikus coming back, trying to prove himself, not able to pick up a win in the ESFL yet, but he has a whole new season to rewrite his season's history. And Fadenator here, who did very well last season, picked up 4 wins, dropped 2 losses, but against high-level competition. But they're matched up here, kicking off the main card. Rob, take it away.
All right, so are we skipping Pablo Grips and KM Caliber, or are they just up next? Okay, no problem. Sounds good. I'm gonna get them in here. We got Yeetikus, 0-1, dangerous submissions, active in the Discord community, great submission specialist, unorthodox striking like we saw earlier. Robin always pushing forward, and then we got Fadenator. He's 4-2. Fellow competitors say he's underrated, very impressive in his debut in the early season, and he's a heavy favorite in this fight. Comfortable everywhere, always looking for a finish, and he's a knockout artist looking for the big KO. And whenever anyone's looking for the big KO, fading Nader in those first rounds. How does that play into the later rounds?
I would love to know, but I think we're also going back to the fight that, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, well done, Rob. Yeah, so
No problem, no
apparently,
problem.
small error there, but that's totally fine. So yeah, why don't you just go ahead and break down Pablo and Caliber? We'll save that one. Slightly different matchup here.
Hey, no problem. I'm very excited about this one. Pablo Grips, one of my favorite fighters to watch because of his striking prowess. 8-3, long-term Esports Fight League veteran, Season 1 UFC Esports competitor, aka the Dev Raider. Good defensive grappling. He likes to pressure his opponents, and he's notorious for setting up vicious head kicks. Now he's going against 2-0 undefeated Kingsman Caliber, 5-3 in the Primetime organization. He's the owner of the first knee bar submission in primetime, a rare submission, great timing, dangerous everywhere, unorthodox. This is a big moment for Caliber to, you know, get another win, keep the streak alive, and beat a dangerous competitor in Pablo Grips.
Yes, indeed.
Very, really interesting. If you're the guy known for the knee bar, you can go and attack the knee bar. But what you can also do is assume your opponent has been training to defend that and attack the situation that the defense will create. Conor McGregor was known for the left hand. You know how he knocked out Cowboy with a left kick. You know how many fake left hands he had to throw? 0. Because all of us, Faraz called it the touch of death. I called it the touch of cross. Joe Rogan said it was the most dangerous weapon in the game. And so you avoid it, and what happens? You get kicked in the head. So you can look at that here too, fake knee bar. Fake knee bar to an attack.
All right, here we go then. Pablo Grips taking on Caliber. Pablo here in the red gloves, Caliber in the blue. We know, like you said, Rob, Pablo does not take a back step very often, but there's a nice front kick right there. Nice pivot on the outside into that lead body kick we've been seeing a lot of Ferguson players use tonight. Let's see if Caliber can keep it going. But I'm seeing Caliber very defensively aware right now, keeping the hand sight, only using those shots. And he rolls with the knee bar. He's on the knee bar. Beautiful start to this fight. Got to get that blue bar on top of the red here, Robin. You can see Pablo doing a good job defensively, just sliding out here. In fact, he hasn't even got the legs crossed over on top.
So he had the foot. Now he's, now they'll call it reaping the knee, but you'll use that to attack the heel hook. Like I was saying, and you know your opponent will be prepared to defend the knee bar, so you try to use the threat of the knee bar to create something different.
Exactly, playing in the mental game of his opponent right now, making him think about everything. But there's a beautiful flick sweep right there by Caliber. Now on top with Tony Ferguson in a side control.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about the Imanari roll. You know, if you're a grappler, even if you fail it, as long as you don't get knocked out, you're on the ground. You've started the grappling exchanges. So even though he gave up position, he got a sweep. Now on top in side control, can work some damage from here with the elbows and try and maintain this position, and got half the round to do so.
Strategically and philosophically, this is in line with how Tony Ferguson would fight, that he will pull guard or actually choose to fight from his back, believing that he's better at it than you are at handling.
Right.
And now he's in the mount.
Exactly. And Pablo's such a great striker that you're thinking about that as his opponent, so it opens up those takedowns. It opens up the Imanari roll that we saw, and we're seeing Pablo very comfortable early on in this fight.
Yes, we are indeed digging the underhook, but denied there on the half guard attempt to sit up, get that sweep. Now, beautiful slice right there. Had a counter advantage into full. Now let's see if the posture up comes. Little short shots, build some GA, open up, try and break those hands. He's going to go for it at some point. Pablo being very patient on the bottom. There's a frame and a slit. Beautiful defensive movement back to the feet, and a nice liver shot, but it gets caught. Flying knee is blocked, and they trade left hands. Man, but Pablo's having to fade back. He's low on the stamina. Now stepping back in, ends with a Superman punch. These two are just throwing everything at each other right now. Oh!
Pablo really did a nice job of getting back to his feet and evening this up with a left hook here.
And Caliber is just putting on a lot of pressure right now, and he eats that straight punch. A nice hook as well. Pablo doing a good job, Pablo doing a good job of fighting aggressively here.
Yes, indeed. I mean, he has to do something. Caliber was able to get the ground game going off that failed Imanari roll. There's a nice lead head kick that just set up that straight right. And here comes the flurry. KO! That's it. Beautiful timing.
So that was a spinning elbow by Caliber.
Yes.
Yep.
Off of the head kick. As
That's
the
right.
head kick comes up, the spinning elbow comes up and around it. Very rare, but
very rare.
Wild.
Man,
oh my goodness.
I mean, it looks a little janky, but there it is. He got him. Yeah, right. Beautiful timing. I mean, maximum
It does
vulnerability
look a little
right there.
janky, but it is absolutely functionally possible.
Of
And
course,
if you're
yeah.
throwing if you are throwing the high kick at me, the opening is there between your thigh and your hip and your torso for me to elbow through it. So it did look a little janky in its interpretation, but it's fundamentally and functionally possible.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Beautiful timing. Obviously, maximum vulnerability
So
when you're
cool.
mid head kick, off balance like that, and already a little hurt as well. Got kind of desperate. Another little factor, Robin, as in real life, if you have less stamina in this game, you typically you take more damage. So if you work your opponent to the point where you've used all your stamina and then continue the offense, you're much more likely to get clipped with a counter.
I think we should ban ourselves from using the term real life, because this is real life.
Okay.
One is physical bodies and one is sort of an interpretation of choices digitally, but this is real life. You know, it's real life fighting. It's just a different game of real life fighting.
Hopefully we can convey that message to the audience at large and show them that this can be as entertaining for that exact reason as a real contest. So hopefully that message does click through. And I think anyone who watches one of these shows, Robin, gets a little bit of that feeling, which is great. And that's a testament to the game and its ability to demonstrate that accurately, as well as the fighters themselves to tap into the, you know, the flow, the same sort of techniques. So right now we are going to go to Fadinator versus Yedicus finally here. So Rob, why don't you just run it through again for the people who maybe missed it? Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem at all. I got this. We got Yedicus again. You know, 0-1 has yet to taste victory in the virtual octagon, but he does possess dangerous submissions, great submissions, unorthodox striking. Watch out. He's going to be a little bit different than your average opponent here, always pushing forward. So he's going to keep a high pace, and he's going to put himself in danger to do damage to his opponent. But he's facing against Fadinator, 4-2. A lot of people say he's underrated, even with that, you know, established record there. And he's a fan favorite, comfortable everywhere, always looking for a finish, KO artist. And I asked you this question last time, Robin, what is the benefits and the negatives to looking for that first round KO?
So when there's chaos all around, it is dangerous to all parties involved, both fighters and even the ref to a certain degree. You're looking to create order within that chaos. Let him look for the attack, see it, stay calm enough to impale him on your punch or kick.
Bang.
Or
all
knee.
right, Balian.
Or
Here we go.
The game plan.
Or shoulder.
So we have Fadinator taking on Yedicus here. Another matchup at lightweight. Another Ferguson pick tonight as well, which is quite interesting. But Fadinator with the Poirier pick in the red gloves. Yedicus in the blue with Tony. And already we're seeing Fadinator use the sidekick to push him back to establish that cage control. But nice re-entrance there to the center as he decided to just fade back. There's a failed Imanari roll, but okay, we're straight back. And a nice liver shot to catch him on the way up.
It's a cool thing because by choosing Ferguson, we choose the more, you know, less predictable fighter, but we choose it because we are less predictable people that choose it. Do you know what I mean? It is the choice is sometimes a reflection of the thinking of the player.
Ooh, big deny there, Rob.
Balian, I'm so impressed how quick Robin is picking up these nuances in this game.
Bro. He knows what's up. Nice.
There
we go.
Yeah. This is it's so generous of you to say that. This is why I wanted to do it, because I believe that combat is combat, and this is combat. It's combat between the minds of two highly trained combatants.
That's a big left hook right there for Yedicus. Landed it right around the outside of that lead right hand, and now goes for the Imanari again for a fourth time. I think he hasn't even connected to start the animation. So there, Robin, that's a question of distance, being too far away when initiating the Imanari roll. Now he gets caught with a straight left. After that big knee, and that's a straight to the body and a rear uppercut. Poor Yedicus getting the worst of it right now as the ground and pound follows, covering up to try and secure a win. But there we go. On his back in guard. Not a bad place to be for Tony, but he got battered right there, Robin.
Yeah, he sure did. You know, the answer to, and we discussed this earlier, to coloring outside the lines is use the fundamental tactics, what we call advanced fundamentals or true basics. Looking for the head and arm here.
Yeah, and this
here you want ear to tricep. You want ear to tricep, and you'll see it right there. Ear to tricep. It's in there now. advance.
It's in. He had a big stamina advantage when he initiated it, which is going to help him try and overlay that red bar on top of the blue. He's going to try and chase him down here as he mixes up. Even this, Robin, a battle of mind games. You know, you're trying to get your bar away from your opponents. You can go clockwise, anti-clockwise. You can go one direction, fake, go
He's
back
gonna
the
get
other.
it. He's gonna lock it in.
He's this in pretty late.
It's close.
On there. He's going to
Yeah.
get it. We'll see.
Oh,
he
gets
got
it.
it. Wow.
Yeah,
Beautiful
he's got him.
arm triangle. Snuck it in there, caught
Really,
him
really
low stamina. Great way to finish. With Dustin Poirier as well, pretty high-level chokes in this game. Not a huge surprise. But what did you think, Robin?
So the choice of the head and arm, the reason it is so awesome is because you do not need to leave the mount to execute it, right?
Yep.
So we already have an advantageous position where I've segmented your body off. And when he left and started to move counterclockwise, he did it under his own terms where he felt he had the control. That's why it's such a powerful choice. We don't have to roll it. We don't have to give it up. I segment your body. I attack the upper half.
Ladies and
When I
gentlemen,
feel
referee
when I
Herb
feel
Dean
like
is
I
close.
have it, I go ear to tricep and I cut off the blood flow of
Night, night.
oxygenated hemoglobin to your brain, and you go to sleep.
There we go. And obviously, that's a point. I don't want to say real life again. We agreed not to use that word. But in this game, if you attempt an arm triangle and fail to get it, you don't lose position. Like you said, Robin. I think the worst is you can end up in guard. I think there is a animation that can play where they will regain guard. They'll get a hook in there. But with a lot of other submissions, obviously in this game, as in, I'll say it again, real life, once you get to a certain stage, if you don't finish the submission with an armbar, with anything, you will give up position. So like you said, Robin, you're completely right. That is reflected in this game. The arm triangle, very safe submission to go for. Very little risk of giving up position. So bang on there. Right. That was rather quick, Rob, wasn't it?
Oh, that was really quick. Very impressive by Fadinator, you know, submitting a Tony Ferguson player. He's got good defense in the game, and to get it that early and that fast shows how much he's been training, shows his confidence. And he's here to get some submissions, and he just collected a head and a paycheck.
I mean, he grabbed a paycheck right there. Yeah, a head is a good way of putting it. Certainly tried to squeeze it off his body right there. We will be going on to Killer Jake and T4H's Holloway next, guys. They are just sorting out their audio settings. Apparently, a lot of people having problems with this today. This is an interesting contest here because this is two newcomers coming along here. Now, Killer Jake has competed before, but he's had a very long layoff from high-level competition. T4H's Holloway. Now, T4H is an established camp here, Robin. We've spoke briefly about it, and I'll say it again for people at home, but they have this new upcoming guy in Holloway who's kind of being forced forward to the forefront and been put into this competition this evening. So let's see what he can bring to the table. He's got the pressure of the camp on him, but he is going up against another 0-0 guy here, Robin. So anything you can draw from that?
So out in the world, particularly in grappling, we're starting to see these 15 and 16 and 17-year-olds coming up that just think differently. And that's where I'm excited to see these 0-0 debuting fighters here. They will think differently. And we've talked about this throughout the night, and this will be an ongoing part of the conversation. Fighting is a living organism. It's ever changing. If you think you know how it works, somebody with a younger, newer, more innovative type of thinking exploits your belief system. And so that's what's interesting when you get these two young guys. Different camps all over the world think they have the only brand new, weird, different fighter, but there's great, young, innovative fighters all over planet Earth.
Right, I'm going to pass it to you, Rob, to break this one down, mate.
Are we ready to break it down, Balian? All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see the 4 Horsemen product here, Holloway, ranked #1 in the rankings right now. Cleanest style, they say, in the whole camp. And we know the T4H camp is notorious for their elite ground game, their elite gang knowledge, their well-roundedness. I mean, they're just so good. And like Robin said, the difference in their approach to the game is just highly it's just amazing, man. And Killer Jake has a big test here, also making his debut back after a long layoff, works the body well, high-level striking, loves a good 1-2 unit flu. Whatever that means, it's in the scouting report. But Killer Jake has to keep this fight on his feet. Robin, how does it play into the mental psyche of a great striker when they know they have someone like Khabib, someone like this guy here, T4H Holloway, that could get them to the ground and hold them there?
So I'm just so grateful that you didn't call this a striker versus grappler stylistic matchup, because that's absolute horseshit that we still say to this day, despite Usman knocking out Masvidal, et cetera, et cetera.
Nasty.
And Masvidal's my guy, but any of these types
Right.
of people, the quote wrestler knocks out the striker. How did the striker submit? Because it's all just narrative horseshit.
Right.
What you're discussing is the threat of something good. The threat of me being so good at something makes you prioritize its defenses, which makes you more porous in me doing the quote other thing. So the whole dynamic changes, and this is the modern game.
All right, there we go. Right, so T4H's Holloway with the Holloway pick in the blue gloves against Jake's Conor McGregor here. They've started fast already. They have selected 5 rounds accidentally, which is pretty much frowned upon here. So hopefully the fight doesn't go past 3 rounds or we will have a problem. But here we go. Lots of pressure already from Jake. Already forced Holloway to the outside of the black line, but using that jump turning side kick to the body nicely. Immediately replying, though, with a side kick, pushing him back to the fence line. So Jake definitely want to control the cage in this competition, as well as use those long arms of Conor, keep the reach where he wants it.
So the game with Conor McGregor and the game when you're playing Conor McGregor is to shoehorn everything to the left strike, right? Everything, especially early McGregor that was winning fights the way he was winning it, everything he did from where he stood to what he threatened was to shoehorn you towards the straight left hand. And that's the game that Killer Jake will need to play here.
Yeah.
Right, and it's the job of Holloway to, get out the way, maybe look at a takedown, or just, use that pivot movement and stay away from that left hand at all costs, because it's a double barrel shotgun, boys.
Yeah, I love the knee by Jake right now. Every time he goes to the body, Jake has that knee, which will not only just interrupt a couple of strikes, but it can catch you on the chin when you're level changing that low. And that knee to the body just shuts out all of that inside fighting, which Holloway will have to enact here because he is at a reach disadvantage. And he will want to get on the inside, not give the space to Jake, like you said, Robin, to set up that left hand.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. He knocked out Cowboy with a left kick because he was moving away from the threat of the left hand. In this case, the knee, he's moving towards to take the space away for the left hand, and Jake is firing the left knee instead.
And those knees are landing nicely, and I feel the momentum slightly shifting right now in Holloway. As Max Holloway, you got to use the momentum of his shots, the velocity, what's the word, Balian? When you throw a lot of shots, boys. The volume. That's what I was looking for. The volume. It's important to use a lot of volume when you're playing with Max Holloway. He doesn't hit as hard as McGregor.
It's also important to remember the first round is probably going to be your most dangerous and where you're going to take the most damage and where you want to be most careful, because as the fight goes on, Jake will slow down with that Conor pick. Hopefully the gas tank of Holloway will carry him through, but look at T4H's stamina. That is a big sizable chunk there, Robin. So all of those body knees are starting to add up.
Hook through that little V of the arm as well, once he had his man hurt. But Holloway's going to get his moments now.
For sure. And Holloway needs to, keep firing that jab and utilize that footwork. Try not to stay too far outside those double lines.
Oof.
anyone watching this, blur your vision to the hands for a moment and simply watch Holloway's feet. Sometimes it's really fun to watch as he's moving in little triangles. That's what's making him start to land. Here is the placement of his feet. Now the knee and the hook.
Oh my goodness, he's got him hurt against the cage, trying to finish him off here. This will be a good work along the fence line, jumps to the back, trips out that back leg on the back. Now this is a great comeback, and you called it, Robin. Now is the chance for Holloway. He took the best shot from Jake. He stayed in there, stayed composed, mixed things up, and now he finds himself on the back. So he's got 2.5 minutes to work, and to roll through to backside here. Jake probably gonna look to turn to the feet, but posturing up, landing a couple of shots.
Oh, big
shot. Go red. That hurt Jake.
The uppercut under the armpit. There to the side. Now watch for the under the armpit. No, instead he moves to join his hands. That shot is there. As somebody hammers away at your side, here, watch for it. No, it's not there. Instead he rolls to side control. But it was his footwork. The way he was moving his feet is what was creating his ability to do the damage.
Exactly, and that led to all the success. And now he's in half guard, trying to maintain control. 1:30 left, on the round. He's posturing up here. He's going to play it safe, though.
Yeah, Holloway needs to, he is being aggressive. He's doing a lot of fakes because he's trying to advance position. He's not just holding, he's faking to try and advance and land those strikes. And he knows he's got a minute to work.
Nice
There's a deny. That's great. Now opens up these elbows right here. Jake took one too many. Another deny as he tries to sneak out. And for someone who is from T4H, they are amazing at this position, Robin, from side control, because it's a horrible position, very tricky to get out of. But he's having it done to him right now. Sorry,
that's a great position here, sternum on spine. It's an exhausting position, and you can just keep hammering to the body here, forcing your man to get up, carrying your weight.
Yeah, and it adds up. Oh my goodness, on the break, he lands a clean. Oh my goodness, there it is. The double barrel shotgun lands. Kaboom!
Oh, wow. They were only back to the feet for a few seconds. It just takes one, and he sack of potato to the canvas there. Beautiful timing by Jake.
So that is what happened. And it's something we've talked about earlier tonight. It's something we've seen in many different ways. If you start thinking you're free to strike, that's what happens. So he's so busy. Your mind can only handle a certain amount of bytes of information. And if I'm assigning them all to offense, very, very difficult for me to handle your interruption that happens. We've seen it a number of times. It's the same dynamic that we've seen with the up kick repeatedly. I'm busy thinking about the fight being over and think it is over, but not the way I want it.
Exactly. A beautiful slip right there, and a big, big dub for Jake, who looked very good with Conor McGregor, and a bright future ahead of him. And he just took out the future potentially champion, boys. He just put on a huge performance there, Balian.
Yeah, like Robin said, it's the potential as well in the future. So, but part of that potential will be dealing with this loss and learning from his mistakes and improving. So let's hope that he does that. He certainly has a camp around him of guys who have been in the same situation, who will be able to take him through that experience and probably, hopefully, if he listens to their advice, round out those areas in his game that he needs to improve on. Right, Robin?
Big time. And there are times even when you win that you need to go back and look at your improvements. Chris Weidman beat Vitor Belfort in a fight. He was getting the shit kicked out of him and then won. If he goes back and says, well, I'm killing it, that's no good. Ronda Rousey over, what was her name? The Brazilian girl in Brazil won that fight. Bet Correa won that fight, but that was a bad fight that she won. Chris Weidman and Vitor, same thing. Sometimes you have to look back and go, where was I exploited, and change that. But it's easier when you lost. It's undeniable. It's sitting there for you to look at.
Of course.
Exactly.
Anything else, Robbie? Just exactly. That's fine. It's totally fine.
That's all I gotta say.
We only have 4 fights left now for you guys, and these are all the best of the best we're moving into right now. They've been given the courtesy of ending and finishing out the show for tonight. So, we're in store for some good fights. So first up next, Jiri Thunderdome will be taking on Hammer, aka Sick Techniques, and Jiri here is someone who has been in the community for a long time. Lots of support, lots of fan interest around him. Tough test in Hammer here tonight, Rob, who is truly a veteran. But I'll pass it over to you. Let's jump to the fight and you can break it down.
All right, Jiri Thunderdome, 3-2 in the ESFL. And he's recently just opened up his own fight camp called Get a Bag. So he's looking to make some money in some tournaments, create a solid team, and we'll see how that has, how he's dealt with that, if that's been taking a lot of time away from his training. He's training with the best players right now, they say, rapidly improving his game. He's a counter striker, always putting on a show with great defensive grappling capabilities.
Gentlemen,
go ahead.
They have multiple names. Can you tell me who is blue and who is red?
So, yeah, Yeri is red. So, Yeri Thunderdome will be in the red corner, and then Sick Techniques will be in the blue corner. That's Hammer.
And Sick Techniques is also Hammer. All right, thank you for that.
No, sorry, I get confused as well. Yeah, so we do have the card for next week as well, guys, but we'll show that to you next week. We've got that through next weekend. 122, moving through the numbered events, but it's 121 tonight, the start of Season 3. We have our champion Zyaf trying to defend his belt, hold on to the title as we move through a new season. And yeah, try and show up tonight and perform. He's got a tough test. So let's jump into it. Let's go. Hammer versus Yeri. People have been waiting for this one. Both guys are very hard to finish and have a lot of different techniques. So let's go for it. Yeri in the red, Sick Techniques in the blue.
Just wanted to say, Hammer 3-3, OG in the competitive scene, loves body kicks, hard to finish, world-class grappling finish, ranked 6th last season, master of the rubber guard position. Here we go.
Thank you, Rob. All right, against the cage line here. Now jump to the back straight away. Sick Techniques hunting for a submission, trying to jump on the neck. Yeri wise to it, fires a 3-piece, exits back to the center, wants to stay off that cage line.
You see some real subtlety and sophistication in partial threats and partial moves and separation. A lot of downloading of information. It's very cool to watch.
Nice.
Definitely trying to make them reads, those little nuances, the footwork, the distance, the timing. They're all trying to adapt. Ooh, and a beautiful spinning body kick lands. Flush.
Yeah, set up with a jab nicely. Yeri throwing a lot of fakes as well, especially with that teep, and then throwing the knee. So that's nice to fake it and then show it.
The knee backing up too.
Ooh,
the knee backing up as well. So.
Yeah, that's a very hard thing to time. You got to make sure you get the entrance of your opponent correct. Sick managing though to get this fight back against the cage where he's having some success, but I don't know what Yeri hit him with. That was huge damage to the body
pull
there.
Elbow.
But pull elbow gets pull elbow did damage to the body. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, wait.
Getting back to it though, as they battle this distance here, both leading with the jab, colliding. Check lead hook there as a nice liver shot lands. Great job by it.
And then answers one. Takes one and then answers with one. Takes a shin and then answers with another.
That's what you got to do. You got to compete, right? You can't just get beat up out there. You have to respond sometimes. And a good job by Sick.
Yeah, Sick
so cool to watch. You can see how high end these guys are. You really can.
Nice little double jab by Sick as he tries to find his way on the inside. Nothing there. Yeri being very good with the footwork right now, not overcommitting to anything, which isn't leaving him in that vulnerable position for Sick to take advantage. Gets the lead uppercut in there, sneaks it through. Now slips through, counter slip with a big left hook. Now trying to follow up with multiple hands there. The Sick Techniques just let the hooks fly, but a beautiful duck to the outside as Yeri did the same thing, Robin, but the hook beat the straight.
Yeah. So Sick Techniques or Hammer, he's winning footwork battles by making smaller steps against the larger steps. Drawing you in with a small step and making and you mentioned the rubber guard here. What we're trying to do is trap the hand to the mat and take our left arm and hug that. Now moves to the omoplata, which sweeps to the top position and moves through the side.
Beautiful stuff there by Sick, by Hammer, excuse me, by Get a Bag, Yeri, and now he's gonna posture up and elect drop some bombs here. 30 seconds left.
Oh, Kimura there from the bottom in
Does he have time?
He doesn't have time to finish it, but the threat of it will be ever present from this moment forward, and you get a little read for your opponent's defenses every time you tease with a submission. But yeah, the threat of it is there, and it will score a few points.
Now it's there.
But we go to the second round.
Very cool. It'll also force him to react. If he knows that that's there, he's going to be a little bit less free with his striking from that top position.
Yep. And he can also now use that to set up, escapes, returns to the feet, sweeps. It'll be there for it. So second round, very close first of all. Good back and forth between the two of them. Yeri did do a ton of damage though, so I might lean that direction. But Sick Techniques obviously got the big rock. So maybe first round going to Sick Techniques. Yeah, battle on the feet, back to the boxing. In tight. This time almost didn't land the turning side kick. The crowding of Sick Techniques really helping there, but he just nailed it. Ooh, lent into the lead hook as he left his feet there. Yeri's trying to find a home for something. It's very back and forth so far.
I'll put with the word crowding because there's a particular ideal optimum range for any weapon, and if you crowd it, you'll take away its ability to extend fully. That's exactly what he did against Thunderdome's turning side kick.
And get it back. Jiri has done a great job in this fight, sneaking in those lead uppercuts. We'll see if he keeps going to that striking combination here.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Sick actually shot a single leg there when he got swept so easily from that rubber guard position, but he's quite happy to return to the mat. Nice double jab, catching Yuri there as he's leaving his feet planted, looking for a big shot. When he's retreating out, he's giving up space, but when he's staying planted, he's getting tagged just a little bit, and Sick now entering and exiting.
Killing with those.
Lands another one. Already the adjustment to the pivot though, Robin. Did you see that? He's already thinking about the defensive.
Yes, Sick Technique's real superpower is the little threat in and out, the little manipulation of position in and out. And Yuri's answer is the turning sidekick and the pivot. So the dynamic between the two is very close. These are two very, very skilled guys.
Extremely skilled, and those spinning body kicks are very dangerous to throw, but you know, Jiri's been landing them with 100% accuracy and confidence. So good stuff for Jiri so far, doing damage to the body. And look at the head now. It's blinking. It's taking a lot of damage. You can't take much more.
Yeah, so some accumulation right there. He's just touching him. Every time Sick tries to enter, now Yuri's getting the timing right, touching that chin. And we mentioned with the turning sidekick, another thing, it creates that space, and that really helps Yuri because Sick is trying to pressure, so it lets him reset the distance, trying to get the pull counter right there. Another lead hook comes out, doubles up on it into the rear uppercut, another lead hook right there for Sick Techniques. But Yuri staying wise, trying to pivot out away from the side that lead hook's coming in, crashes in the center, level chain into the body lock, outside trip, beautiful job, and half guard top position right now. Let's see if things change up, Robin.
So Sick Techniques on top now, again, trying to get that inside control. The body lock to the outside trip is a high percentage choice. And, you know, you guys mentioned earlier the turning sidekick. Same thing here. Watch for the Kimura threat now stepping over. Sometimes it isn't what you're throwing. We do that a lot when we talk about something. Beautiful low kick, nice jab, big right hand. It's not the what, it's the when. And the when is really important, finding the time to do it. Here, sternum on spine, reaches through, right hand to the temple, or punch from underneath. Really cool. Pull up on the head is gorgeous, too. A little yank up on the head to access the back.
Arm
now
bar.
he's on the back. Yeah.
Nice attempt, but not enough time to finish it. Very close second round, though, Rob.
Very, very close. And Jiri's ability to... And the way he lands that spinning body kick is, like Robin said, the timing. It's almost always when his opponent is coming forward, clashing right into it, into the body. And it's a beautiful technique.
Barely had any extension on it, but he still landed it. And as long as he didn't take any damage, it'll be okay. Don't know if he can keep going back to it. We already saw the defensive pivot. There's a takedown fake from Sick Technique, so he's already mixing things up. There's the up right in the middle, under the jab. Doubles up to the bottom with the hooks right here, trying to get the finish, but there's the pivot.
Oh my goodness, what a pivot!
Beautiful flurry. And here come the rear uppercuts as he tries to level change, get that head off the center line. But what a back and forth, a rock for rock, Robin.
When you're getting that head off the center line, you have to be very careful of the high. Again, the when. That's perfectly timed, low to the outside.
And that's what he needed.
So again, when he hugs that knee, he's able to rotate into the omoplata and come up. He did it last time. Clearly one of his special techniques.
Yeah, and he's... Go ahead, Rob.
Well, we're back to inside the guard now. There was a little flash for me, so I don't know. Hammer is on the bottom now. Sick Techniques on the bottom. Again with the omoplata. Again, he'll try to look for the omoplata sweep. A high guard here, gripping his knee. No, perfectly defended by Yuri.
Oh, but the Kimura's there. He left him still vulnerable, burnt a ton of stamina to get back to that position and locks on this Kimura from full guard. He's going deep on it. It looks like Yuri has a little bit of space here. So Robin, the bars at the bottom, obviously you can see if it goes red on the left, he gets out, blue on the right, it subs, but he's going to try and stay locked on now as he mixes up the left to the right hand side, returns to the center, really firing up in that right corner, doubling up, tripling up on the right hand side, quadrupling to the right. Yeah, I think he's got it, Robin. I think you're right. Read that pattern, locks it in, gets the tap. It's a win for Sick Techniques, and it all started from that rubber guard there, Robin.
Yes, it did. If you think about it, we're holding the rubber guard here. As you defend it, you're moving your head this way. Sorry, I'm not wearing socks. As you do, I come up to the other side. So you move to defend the omoplata, which exposes the left side of your body, the right side of mine, and I attack the Kimura. That's how we set it up. He also didn't have shoes, so I don't need shoes either.
Rob, what do you think of that, man? I mean, that's a big win right there, especially making a statement with the sub as well, showing a well-rounded game. We got a rock on the feet, but finished with a submission.
Yeah, I mean his ability to finish with that submission and have the patience and the wherewithal to stay calm, and he had a huge stamina advantage, so he was aware that he had that advantage and really utilized it and stayed calm and filled up that bar and got the technique off, and a beautiful win. Dick on fire, a big win over a notorious Jerry Thunderdome. So you know, some fantastic fights and a couple submissions tonight, which we don't see all the time unless Death Punch is fighting Balian.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll find this time around. Great work, though. Great work by Hammer. I'm sure he'll be happy with that one. Back to form for him, at least for the start of this season. Let's see if he can keep it up. But we are going to jump now to the Coco main event, as I will say, as we're getting Elite Kings' Trickzzy taking on the Kingsmen's Intro right here. Now, the Kingsmen are a fairly new camp, but Intro coming in 0-0 has been tearing through the affiliate leagues. But Rob, why don't you take this one away, break these two competitors down?
All right, yeah, Kingsman Intro making his debut, tearing through the competition in all the other organizations. And we're starting to learn here, boys, that those other organizations, they have some real talent, and they're catching up to the ESFL prowess, because we're seeing guys like Death Punch coming in here and just taking over tournaments. So this could be another opportunity for Intro to stake his claim, make a name for himself against a very dangerous, highly touted Elite Kings Trickzzy, 10-5. He was the Venom Invitational winner, 20-fight win streak in the other organization, Prime Time. This guy has high-level footwork, which, Robin, you'll probably enjoy, and dangerous even when losing. We have to say that because whenever he's losing, he just finds his ways to face adversity, come back, and get the W.
Yeah, I mean, Patricio Pitbull, Glover Teixeira, there's a lot of these fighters that stay calm in the chaos. You're trying to finish them, and that is when you're vulnerable. An experienced fighter, a smart fighter, knows when you get too aggressive, you're vulnerable. So, and often you get aggressive when you've hurt me.
There we go. Right. Okay, we got KM's Intro picking up Rob Font right here in the blue. EK's Trickzzy in the red gloves. Different matchup here. We've got the reach advantage for Rob Font, but because Trickzzy has that TJ pick, he does have an advantage in the kicking techniques, so they kind of nullify each other if he can take advantage of those kicking techniques. We'll see here. Lots of pressure from Intro, pushing him back against the cage. It's going to hurt Trickzzy. Won't have the space to set those techniques up.
Yes,
changing ranges here. Trying to go to the inside fight, but the right hook was rating. Nice front leg there. Little perk on Rob Font. Makes those front leg teep kicks and rear legs come out a little faster. Nice, slow, patient battle. And the first between these two guys to give respect at the start of the fight tonight, Robin. They both get a little respect message though.
Yeah, the more skilled you are sometimes, the more natural that is. You know, you mentioned Rob Font. Intro wants to push him against the cage. And when you can put your front foot on the tracks, those black outline tracks, and your man has his back against the cage, he only moves one of two directions. If he moves left, if he moves to his right, you hit him with your left weapons. If he moves to his left, you hit him with your right weapons. So that's why you take a TJ Dillashaw type fighter and try to push him against the cage if you can. Not easy.
Exactly, and that's what makes a fighter in this game so special, is their selection, those round shots to trap their opponent against the cage and do big damage. There's a beautiful check there by Intro, and so far a big feeling out process for these two.
That was an inside check as well as nasty. Go on, Robin.
Secret to pushing him against the cage is in the footwork. You think of it from extended from you, if you think of it as the highlights of a car, you try to move outside of the highlights of the car and shoehorn or bird dog your man inside that highlight, that power beam light of a car, keep him inside that space and move him into each weapon.
Intro is using a lot of lovely quick 3-piece, 4-piece combinations on the inside whenever Trickzzy tries to close that distance, initiate some boxing, and then these kicks are coming perfully timed. Oh, he just
barely missed that one. Paid for it.
Yeah, Intro wasn't able to take advantage of the big vulnerability window there, but, you know, they exchange. The chaos, Robin, causes that, and there's a beautiful lead uppercut that drops Intro. Not good there. That'll steal the round for sure.
So Trickzzy threw the high kick, and you notice that there isn't the maximum impact on TJ Dillashaw's high kick because it's not designed that way. It's designed for it to flick up while he's still moving, but then he threw the left hand and was able to drop him.
Exactly, a sneaky left hand too, and Trickzzy starting to take a little bit of the momentum Intro still hanging in there, though, but definitely first blood struck by Trickzzy here in round number 1, Balian.
Oof, yeah, I feel like Intro needs to get behind those straight shots just a little bit. Pop the jab at jab range. Don't try and throw these combos once Trickzzy stepped inside of your range. You're going to have a lot tougher time. Double fake there on the lead kick, and then nice little check hook came up. There's a nice leg, lead leg T-push right there. Drops him down, and there's the hand combos at the optimum range right there once he's covering up.
Yes. Yeah, very nice. You know, a thought on that head kick that Trickzzy landed. TJ Dillashaw, the human, lands his head kick often. He does it because he doesn't load up on it. He doesn't express it with a ton of power. He expresses it as a flick. As a result, he can land a ton more than people who try to use so much connection to the ground.
Exactly, and then you're thinking about that fast kick coming from TJ Dillashaw. Oh, another vicious check right there. That one hurt Trickzy's left leg, and then he eats a head kick himself.
Just the inside check as well. We talked about that one tonight, but you know, it's only leg damage. You got a good switch stance stat on TJ, so Trickzzy, as long as he can fight out of different stances, will be able to try to hit the switch there and throw the lead hook off the left hand as he switched momentarily into orthodox. But it's a nice little work with the hands. Tried to get the double leg, doesn't do it. There's a nice frame from KM right there as he pushes him back to the cage. A nice right hook on the inside. Trickzzy looking to force things a little bit now, trying to
checked again.
Get back to the pace that he was establishing earlier on.
Intro lands the lead hook a lot. So Trickzzy is starting to try to shell on it. Watch for Intro to change that up, draw out the shell, and then punch or kick or strike around it. See it?
Yeah,
see that right shell to the head there? Yeah. So now he's starting to strike around it. That shell, that, you know, an uninformed audience will say, hands up, you know, protect yourself. But if you protect yourself too aggressively, with too much commitment, it opens up other things.
Exactly, and it also will damage your block meter here, and you can't rely on your block forever. And that's an important tip there, Robin Black. Oh my goodness, beautiful overhand uppercut.
And the uppercut on the way down. Oh, wow. Intro found a way back into this fight, straight right and looped the lead hook. Soft catches him with a cheeky lead hook. Almost pushes him again. This is bad for Trickzzy. He's got to get off this cage. Hits a pull. That takes some of the stamina out of Intro. Tries to get the outside trip there. Doesn't get it. Intro says, no, no, no. Right back to the center. Back on the offense. But great work right there, Robin.
You can feel that Intro fights free of emotion. It's all just zeros and ones. All just the assessment of information. You just see the smart movement is coming. Intro is just getting better and better as this fight goes. The more information Intro has gained, the better his offense and defense are becoming.
Exactly, and I believe we are getting a introduction right now to this guy, and he is just fantastic.
I like it.
This second round is just amazing. You know, he's really come alive in this round, and he's starting to flow, Robin. And you said you love when you see a man flowing, and I believe he's in full zen right now.
He is. It is that choiceless awareness. The information is coming to him, and his brain is algorithmically making decisions. These are, but he's hit with a left interruption. These decisions Intro is making, whether he wins or loses, they are happening by themselves. It's too fast for conscious thought. It's algorithmic choice decision making.
Oh, lead uppercut drops him. I don't think Trickzzy thought there was another shot coming at the end of that two-piece, and the three after that. Oh, he does slip back to the feet. He's only got to last another 10 seconds here or so. He will recover fairly well with TJ.
Right uppercut. No, left body. Right
nice
uppercut
job.
is there.
What a round for Intro.
He's been finding a home for almost everything, Robin, right?
Yes, and also notice in those last 10 seconds, Intro had him hurt. He didn't make any mistakes. It wasn't like, I need to get him out of here. He's calm, he's emotionless. If it isn't there, he didn't take it. He'll try to finish it in the third round. Of course, he could become finished in the third round or get hurt himself. But logically, to him, that was a better choice than risking it in those final 10 seconds.
Oof. Exactly, and now, you know, you're seeing Trickzzy trying to mix up the pace here, go down for a takedown to get out of this striking razor of Intro right now, just cracking him again and again with these long punches of Rob Font. I mean, his boxing is his bread and butter, as we see, and those teep kicks continually push him against the cage, and he's trapped here.
There's a takedown, finally cuts the angle on the double leg, lands in side control. Now we have a bit of a momentum shift, potentially, if this top position can be held onto the backside now, can do damage from here or sit down to the back, but there will be an attempt to roll to a full guard, but he steps over, ends up in half. Let's see how this plays out.
This is excellent. What a great fight this one is. Trickzzy now in the mount. Trickzzy drew in and offered the liver shot, actually took the liver shot to get the takedown. It felt intentional. It could have been responsive, but it certainly felt like a trap. Now he's on top.
You never know with the Trickzzy. He's insane. But wow, did he let him up, Alien? Or
No, he got the
Low
get
single.
up in there.
wow,
Yeah.
beautiful by
ankle kick.
Intro.
Intro gets the get
I
up
lo-
from
yeah.
underneath, and then goes for the low single, denies as well. Go, Robin.
Smart choice to the second he's up, go to the low single. It's just even smarter choice by Intro.
Yep, very, very apt as well. Very much applies here in the video game sense. Immediately reshooting a technique that worked
Bang.
for you, can catch them off guard, and he landed that ducking roundhouse that time, Robin, as well. Right on the end of the range, but steps back in. The hands of Rob Fon, and here comes the ground and pound. Maybe for a finish, straight shots
Oh
down
my
the middle.
goodness.
Gets it done. KM Intro has arrived, taking out the 10-5 EK's Trickzzy in his debut here. He tore through the affiliate leagues. He tore through Trickzzy tonight. I mean, that's an impressive debut, Robin.
Oh, I would love to see these athletes, these psychological athletes performing, because I
Right.
get the feeling that Intro was fully relaxed as he did that. That
Yep.
his heart rate didn't rise, that his emotions didn't change. It was all very analytical and very algorithmic, because that's what it felt like as we watched him compete there. Super sick fight between both of those two. That's the coolest fight of tonight, in my humble opinion.
All
Yeah,
right,
that
you
was
guys go.
an amazing fight right there. And we got to see Intro's ability to face a little adversity in that first round against a veteran in EK Trickzzy, and then come back in round number 2, in round number 3, stay cool, calm, and collected, like Robin said, and just land devastating, beautiful boxing combinations. Utilize that teep kick to push his opponent against the cage, trap him there, and deal with a little bit of takedowns, get back to his feet, and just lay the bombs on him. A huge win. His debut win against EK Trickzzy Balian. What an impressive performance.
Yeah, this KM camp, the Kingsmen, they have definitely shown up on this scene. I mean, if you aren't aware, for those of you at home, for the UFC Esports League this summer season, there was multiple ways you could join that competition. You could be invited by the ESFL as an existing member of the roster, but we only took the very, very best players. You could have joined a content creator tournament and fought your way through one of 8 tournaments run by people like myself or Bruce Lee Rob, or you could have tried to join through the open applications, which were open to everyone in the entire world. 2 members of the Kingsman camp fought their way through against every, average Joe and, guy who's pretty good at home trying to get in this competition. They fought their way through, landed in the UFC Esports League as a result, and got through to the final tournament, Robin. So these guys not only showed up out of nowhere to compete on the UFC stage, but now here in the ESFL, and based on Intro's performance, have done very well, a very good job building an established roster of esports competitors. So let's jump straight through, guys, because we're on the co-main event. Actually, Robin just put his hands up, so I'm going to let you make that point, Robin, because we want to hear from you.
I was going to say that everybody's path is what shapes their ability to perform. Every single contest is a reflection of your life experience to get there. So all of them taking different paths prepares them in different ways, and we kind of see these different dynamics.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah,
All right,
Balian.
okay. Yes,
Go ahead,
Robin.
Balian. Go ahead, Balian.
Okay,
Take us away.
I'm
Take us away.
going to take us through to the co-main event of the evening now. Now, we have a short notice replacement actually here. A little change around at the top, but the good news is it's someone who I am very excited to see compete this evening. So we now have Yerda taking on short notice replacement Young Po, aka Young Po Chini. Now, Rob, I know you know a little bit about Young Po. There are no notes on this thing, so I'm sure you can add a little bit of analysis. Please take us through this matchup.
No, I remember watching Young Po. Young Po is a very dynamic fighter, great with his striking, good at getting back to his feet. And yeah, he's one of those new up-and-coming fighters, 2-0 right now in the ESFL. And this is a big switch up for Yerda. I don't know how he's going to deal with it. Yerda is 9-5. He was an UFC Esports Grand Finale competitor. He was ranked number 3 on the PlayStation ranked last season. And this is his Xbox debut tonight. And he's got unrelenting pressure, comfortable everywhere the fight goes with elite head movement. And they don't give elite head movement for no reason. It's very hard to hit Yerda, but I think Young Po is going to throw some aggression at him. This is going to be a fantastic fight, gentlemen.
You see this sometimes where you'll hear a fighter and they'll say, I'm not worried about what my opponent does. I want to be able to get behind my own game. That's what Yerda will have to do here. And when you have that ability to make somebody miss, it doesn't really matter. It's a reaction. It's a neurological skill. So that should be able to work regardless of who you face.
All right, so Young Po with the Adesanya pick in the blue gloves. Yerda here taking Whittaker in the red. Now, Young Po, one thing we should know, he is a AOX Muay Thai champion. AOX is another league, another event that we run here at the Esports Fight League. Muay Thai only, and Young Po has been a champion in that organization, so you've got to expect Muay Thai techniques, the beautiful striking. And Robin, you might be in for a treat with someone like Young Po and Adesanya. There should be a lot of creativity that comes out of this man this evening.
You see it in the way he pops in and out. It's sort of a game of going in and out of the hot zone. We've seen it already. I'm going to be thrilled to commentate the Muay Thai, the 8-man tournament tomorrow.
Yes,
as well. So super stoked for that.
Oh, that's going to be sweet. That's so exciting over there. Such great, phenomenal fighters that throw extremely well techniques. And we're seeing some good techniques right now from Young Po, fighting very well off that back foot, not allowing himself to get outside those double black lines. Doing a good job staying in with angles and movement.
Yeah, he's doing a good job holding position against the Whittaker pick. Oh, beautiful jump turning side kick as well. Gives him even more space, but Yerda's trying to find his entries right here. It's a patient approach from Yerda. He's definitely downloading the information and making the assessments. Now crashes on the inside, doubling up on the lead hook after that beautiful straight. So that gave him a little bit of distance, and that's what Yerda's going to have to do. It's not going to be a 1 or a 2 punch job. It's going to be the 3 and the 4 that pierce through the barrier and catch him.
So watch, Yerda's made the adjustments on the footwork, and that's why this is staying out sort of beyond the track and closer to the fence. There's a nice jumping, spinning back kick. But that's the key for Yerda here, is force your man, because young Pochini is moving in and out, in and out. If you push him far back, it's only in, right? But you see Pochini pivoting and trying to circle back to the middle. This is cool.
Yeah, and you're seeing Yerda really trying to lunge at these strikes and try to find his range, and Young Po's making it very difficult. These straight punches, the lead leg kick, and he's really tagging and piecing apart his opponent right now.
Yeah, Yerda's right in here now, though. He's toe-to-toe. He wants this inside dirty boxing. They trade hooks. Let's see who gets the better of who. I mean, in this situation in real life, this is how Adesanya knocked out Whittaker. So let's see how Yerda's strategy plays off.
Watch when they both move to the one direction. They both move trying to go outside right there. See how they're both trying to move outside? The one who slides inside with the jab has that freedom, but they're both playing the same game, trying to win the same game. That idea of staying outside the front foot is
not it, Robin. He sidestepped that spinning bang to the body, and that's the danger of it. Oh, big shots by Whittaker. Good defense, though.
Survives.
Good defense by Young Po.
Young Po literally one strike away from losing this fight right there. 3 times he went to that jump turning side kick, and the 4th time, the sidestep, 2 hooks, plants him to the mat, Robin.
Yerda steps over now. Yeah, I mean, when you throw it over and over again, even if it's well, you almost look for a sweep there. Even if it's a tool you use well, the other human is adapting. And there it is, the jump turn side kick. Okay.
Oh, man, beautiful.
Yeah, he stepped through. So he off the jump turn side kick with the 1 punch and then stepped through left hand to left fist. And that's a powerful strike. You guys talked about Yerda's patience. You really saw it. You really did.
Yeah, you did. And you saw his ability to just, react to a situation and take full advantage of it. And now Young Po in the disadvantage with the head health, the right leg. Now he's being swarmed.
Yeah, he's already given up that inside octagon there already. It's a difference from this round to the first. Yerda's already worked out, what the weapons are that are going to be when he enters into this range. So now feels more comfortable doing so. Young Po has to mix things up.
And it's orthodox.
Yeah,
it's orthodox versus orthodox now too, right? So it's a completely different dynamic, and this is actually so far favoring Yerda.
Yeah, the outside game no longer being played here. But let's see if Yerda can keep this up. And Young Po has those knees, has those elbows, mixing up. There it is. That's what you want to see if the range changes like this.
Yeah. Beautiful stuff right now. Yerda is really utilizing Robert Whittaker on the inside, and he's a lot more powerful with those big punches. And, Young Po with Israel Adesanya, he's got to fight a little bit longer because his punches are getting stifled here.
Yes, but to do that, he's got to move his feet. He's got to move his feet and circle towards the logo in the center, the Toyo tires in the center.
Yeah, you see Yerda matching there beautifully. Nice left hook, doubles up on it. And the rear uppercut as well. Now the ground and pound against the cage. Finds a way back to the feet somehow. Gets the hip toss because he was covering the head. And here we are, bottom side control. Bad news for Young Po, especially with Adesanya off his back here.
Your brain can only handle a limited number of assignments. So somebody's hitting me to the head, and I'm worried about the north, and he throws me from the south, right? And now it's a completely different game. Yerda is a very impressive guy. He handled sort of the first couple of minutes and learned and improved. And he's been the one sort of who's made enough little changes and improvements in his approach. Now he's taking charge.
Right, and his confidence is showing, and he is just looking phenomenal right now. You see a little fake there from the bottom, but Yerda, you know, elevating and slamming him down. He's giving Young Po all sorts of dangers from all areas of the octagon here.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about the fatigue of the characters, but the fatigue of the players as well. There's a mental fatigue, and there are physical fatigues that play a part of this. Something that Yerda just seems so comfortable, you know, with speed and momentum and rate of use, and he can handle this kind of pressure.
Yeah, don't count Yerda, Young Po out just yet. He does have a little bit more in the gas tank, and that creativity could come out at any time. Those head kicks are lethal weapons, but he decides to trade on the inside. Eats the right hand. Now staggering backwards. Yerda looking for a finish, but in such a patient way here, Robin.
So yeah, that patience. He eats that one. Patience was something you talked about, and you know he's not making that mistake. We were talking about what Yerda was doing, and you made a point. You know, Young Po is dangerous. You know that. Pass that on, and Yerda knew that.
Got clipped there as well.
Yeah, Yerda's being a little bit more defensive at the end of that second round. You know, has the first 2 rounds in the bag. He's done some good body damage to Young Po. Young Po has done a lot of body damage to Yerda, so that's all that he's had successful, and that's a beautiful drop right there. Oh my goodness.
He tried to pull.
It's the skip step, right? Oh, we didn't see it. Off the uppercut, he skipped out to the outside.
Beautiful skip step.
Super cool.
There we go. All right, third and final round, I believe.
Here we
between these two. You got to give the first round to Po, most likely. Oh, no, he did get the knockdown. So, yeah, I'd say Yerda's up 2 right here. Let's see if Po can pull something off. Going to need something explosive, something to split the timing of Yerda, perhaps. But Yerda going to keep that patient approach. Another lead hook every single time. Just timed it beautifully, waited on it, found the window, nailed it beautifully. And here comes the rest of the pressure.
Big shot.
Jump turning side kicks there. He has done a lot of damage to the body, but that is still going to expose him if he has to make any more commitments to offense. He has to be very careful.
Yerda is not just reacting, but he's timing on the retraction. So it's a timing issue of when he attacks. Moments after you, as your weapon retracts, he's attacking. That's why he's landing that lead hook.
Exactly.
What's his lead hook? Oh, the elbow. Same thing.
Vicious strike there, and now Yerda is Young Po is in all sorts of trouble. That head held is blinking like a stoplight, Balian.
Yeah, he tried to go for the hip toss again there. Young Po actually defended it that time. That's where they broke from the cage. So good awareness by Young Po, recognizing that technique was there last time he got hurt. But this is looking rough for Po. He's got 3 minutes to pull something off. He's done some damage to the body. There's another liver shot attempt here, but the kick gets caught. The trip jumps over nicely, goes straight for the teep, and this time a head kick on the break. Good awareness from Po to stay in there and not take damage, but this is not looking good.
Yeah, you saw the thinking of Yerda. On one grab, he tried to take the inside trip, and on the second grab, he dropped and kicked. So he's varying his choices even off of the same sort of sequence.
Beautiful analysis right there, in a straight piston-like straight right down the pipe. And, you know, Young Po just needs to find a way to get a rock on that body. That's his real only chance to get this win, in my opinion, and we'll see if he's able to execute here with 2 minutes left.
Oof, I mean, Young Po's still
interesting. So he paused, drew the up kick, paused as well, and then when he went the up kick, kicked. So it was a pause kick.
The PP kick.
Yeah, the PP.
Oh man,
Let's see
done such a good job catching those body kicks. Runs into the cage on the back, suplex. You don't see that every day. That is a beautiful sequence, transition through so beautifully to the back, locks it in. But yeah, Young Po's getting those body kicks caught now as well, and that's what we said, Rob. The body's hurt, but you know, Yerda's aware, Robin, and now he's using that strategy that Young Po's employing to attack the body to get even more advantages in this fight.
I love the simple linear punches through the middle until he can sit on the right thigh and then punch from up there. He's not in a rush here. As long as he doesn't get swept, he feels he's going to win this fight. It's smart to just strike from the top here.
Yeah, that was a beautiful takedown, a beautiful choice. You know, he's up 2-0, takes him down, eats the clock, does more damage, scores more, and this fight is going to be Yerda. Bang!
Oh,
Another one to
Watch
send
the
home
up
to
kick.
mama.
Yep, one more to steal the deal there. It will go 3 rounds, and don't forget, Young Po did fill in on short notice, guys. He did fill in on short notice this evening, so props to him for showing up tonight. I've just had a look. If he's competing tomorrow at our 8OX event, Young Po will not be.
I hope so.
But we have plenty of other people competing. In fact, we have that event and the poster ready to go. So why don't we, after this, of course, have a look. We have to see the decision. I think we know Yerda's going to win, but...
Rear uppercut. Yeah, he dropped him a few times. Hey, listen, Young Po was sharp. He had a dangerous game of his own. He played the in and out very well. The first 3 minutes of the first round, he was particularly good. He's a very, very good game player, a very good fighter to step in short notice.
Yeah, you have to imagine how much warm-up he has had this evening as well, because that might have been his first game of the night as well, compared to Yerda, who has had not only since the start of this event to get ready, but I'm sure some warm-up games today as well. We didn't actually get to see the decision there. The stream shut off. I'm pretty sure Yerda got the nod, so I don't think we need to worry too much. We will get confirmation in the back there as well. So thank you, Young Po, for showing up short notice. But Yerda moving to 10-5 overall, and he did finish at number 3 on PlayStation last season. And that was his Xbox debut tonight. So now a threat on both consoles in both divisions. Did certainly a very good job there tonight as well. And I think we talked about briefly at the start, how will he deal with a short notice opponent? Well, it shouldn't affect him, you said, Robin, because he is, has that cerebral ability as an experienced fighter to just react in the situation. And that's what he did. He assessed the situation. When he realized, okay, these are my strengths, this is what I can use, then he started to take over the fight. Let's jump, guys, to the poster for tomorrow's event. Guys, we are bringing you an excellent 8-man Muay Thai tournament. 8OX is back. And yeah, we have Mr. Robin Black in the booth tomorrow with Mr. Bain, I believe. But left to right, you can see some big names. We have Orshin back here, Keza back as well, the Ginger Ninjas back. So a few people who fought tonight, as well as Tad from KM, another Kingsman coming in to compete tomorrow. And EK's Bang, what a matchup that will be. He's a very good, competent striker. Caliber, another Kingsman, will be taking on Z Hunter. Z Hunter's fighting tomorrow. Z Hunter, by and large, the president of the ESFL, hasn't competed for a while, but fun fact, Robin, he was in the grand finale of the UFC 2 tournament that the UFC put on way back at UFC 200. So that's kind of his last big foray into competition. Moved into the promotion side of things, organizing the ESFL, but fighting tomorrow. What a treat. What a great treat. I haven't seen Z fought for so long. And let's jump over to next week's event, guys. Take a quick look. ESFL 122 coming at you next weekend, back on PlayStation, and Zyaf will be main eventing again next week, because guess what? He's champ over there as well, defending the belt against Turk the Terror. We have 11 Bravo, very highly touted prospect coming up. Big hype behind this guy. Can he perform in this season against Bang Bang? We won't know, but we will find out. And loads of other names on the card there. That's next week, same time.
What a card.
August 28th. There we go, guys. What a card indeed. But we have a main event coming up for you right now. The champion Zyaf will look to defend his Xbox title this evening. It will be 5 rounds. We're jumping to Bantamweight, a very fun division. But I will pass it over to you, Rob, to introduce the 2 men who will be competing for the belt this evening.
All right, this is Elite Kings, highly touted athlete, EK Dirrty Dave, 6'2", elite knowledge of the game, one of the best grapplers on UFC 4, who has been working and improving on his striking. However, he's about to face 18-5, the young prodigy Zyaf out of the dark camp. This guy is extremely versatile. His adjustments on the fly, his ability to land the kill shot. I mean, this guy is so damn good at this video game. Current ESFL double champion, Xbox and PS4, on an 11-fight win streak, 5 title defensive, aggressive combination, strong in all aspects of MMA, the elite submissions. Zyaf defends his belt tonight against EK Dave.
All right. Should be a banger, guys. The main event. Thank you for staying with us all through this one, ESFL 121. We will write it in the history books tonight. Following this, Zyaf, the champion in the red gloves with the TJ pick against EK's Dirty's Peter Yan.
I'm pumped.
Nice return on the knee there as well. Blocked the body shot, fired that knee right up the middle where the distance was still there. Great read by Zyaf. Let's see if Zyaf employs any grappling here tonight as well. Competent grappler, doing a lot of standing his ground right now, Robin.
Yeah, he is standing his ground. He's definitely doing a good job, but you got to be careful because he was paying for it, Bailey. And he was eating a couple of shots there. I think Robin froze a little bit. If you could hear us, maybe just refresh your webcam or rejoin the call. But yeah, man, this is a tough fight right now. You know, Zyaf is really good at coming back in any situation. You can never count this kid out.
Yeah, it's a shame. We'll see if Robin can get back in there. Right as the main event begins, we lose him. But yeah, this is all on the line. Osagari trip countered there by Zyaf. He has the wherewithal. When he tries to hook the leg, he will get it. No, he doesn't. Oh my God, look at these two go back and forth. A nice double deny by Zyaf right there. Not an easy thing to do against those tricky takedowns, Rob.
Exactly, and that was a huge moment for both of these guys, you know, showing that I'm going to be here and I'm going to compete with you, Zyaf. I know you're the young prodigy, but Zyaf reminding him with that uppercut, Bailey, that, hey, you're fighting in the big leagues now, boy.
Yes, indeed. And we've seen Dave compete a lot recently. He's been in a lot of different tournaments showing up. Let's see if he can get a nice top side control position as well. He loves it, and there's the single leg trying to end up in side control, but the third takedown denied right there for Zyaf, who now punishes with the knees, and we're already seeing the stamina difference there, Rob, on the long-term stamina.
Right, and that's going to play huge in the later rounds, especially a five-minute bout here, Bailey. And you know, this challenger right now, he does have some skills. You see it. He's tagging the champ. He's doing well. He's hanging in there.
He is indeed. I think we may have Robin Black back. Can you hear us, Robin?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
back.
I did.
If you
I
got a
did
second,
the
just...
old shut it off and turn it back on.
There you go. Perfect. If you turn your web, you got to turn your camera on again as well. Yeah, you got it. Well,
There we go.
We're coming to the close of this first round here, Robin. It's been rather back and forth. Zyaf has defended 3 takedowns, so you'll see the difference in stamina there in the top right and the top left. EK's Dirrty's taken a lot of stamina loss.
Beautiful.
And a nice, beautiful switch right there into a lead hook. And he also cut the angle at the same time. So good job by Zyaf, but been very back and forth so far, Robin.
In that little sequence, you also saw how smart Zyaf is understanding. We got 20 minutes and 40 seconds left to win this fight. Got a guy hurt, we can back out, draw him in again, and back out again and again. He's not in a rush.
Oof, very nice.
That's what makes Zyaf so dangerous, is how calm, cool, and collected he stays throughout all these high pressure situations. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful setup for that head kick, Bailey. And oh my god.
Amazing. Double jab straight right there to set the range, and then as soon as he came crashing back, slip of the center line through the straight, and then the ducking roundhouse to follow once he's already leant over there, Robin. You love that. That's very TJ-like as well.
Very TJ. Head kick down, body.
Beautiful.
Bang, bang.
All right, start of the second here. Let's see if there's a change in momentum. Dave very intent on crashing there, closing the distance, but Zyaf using those pivots, exiting at angles, doing a nice job, staying away.
TJ's game starts at the feet. All games start at the feet, but TJ's mastery starts from the feet up, and that's how Zyaf is playing it. Zyaf is where he's standing in space is the most important. Not what weapon he throws, when he throws it, and from where.
Oof.
Yeah, and he is setting up that leg kick time and time again from different angles. He's switching stances all over the place, too, giving Dirty so many different things to think about. What a beautiful dodge. My goodness. The young prodigy is performing the best I've seen him in a long time.
Yeah, for sure. He is on fire tonight. Has to be careful of that check lead hook from Dirty, though. He nailed him as he got stuffed on that body kick, and then he fired one more afterwards. There it is again. So that lead hook's a little bit of a bang, but he catches him throwing it with a rear uppercut. Now crashing forward, the champion trying to get the finish. Not in a huge rush to do so, but still in danger here is Dirty. Has to stay composed and stay in the fight.
Zyaf, you're not going to land something 3 times. Good on you, you landed the lead hook. Good on you, you landed it again. But on the third one, you got binked with the uppercut. So you've got to change, because he's learning. You've got to use his learning against him.
Definitely.
Zyaf will be very
my
good.
goodness. How about that one, Robin Black?
Was impeccable, right?
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderfully skilled.
Yeah, that's why young prodigy's so good, Bailey.
Yeah, indeed. Survival mode for Dirty there. It's not even the end of the second round. The stamina is almost way down past that halfway point. The head health ticking away. Trying to get a Hail Mary turning sidekick going there, but doesn't land it. And look at Zyaf just floating around in this safe zone.
Zyaf changes stances in really wild times. In truth, I don't know if he actually trains with Dwayne, because in truth, Dwayne's philosophy is there are not 2 or 3 stances. there are unlimited stances. When your left foot is forward, your right foot is forward, your hips are stationed. Those are 3. But every moment between those stances are thousands of other stances. That's how he's playing it as well. See, little skip in to the punch, little skip out. He'll step in right here. Back.
Oh,
awesome.
Oh.
Awesome.
Such a phenomenal performance. And my goodness.
Zyaf just doing whatever he wants to Dirty right now. Keeps touching the chin, the head, whatever he can get his hands on. Tried to jab in to close the range for those double hooks. Doesn't land it, but closes the space again. Another uppercut. Nothing left in the tank for Dirty. He's just folding to the canvas. And the champ retains his title. Less than 2 rounds to get it done. If there were any doubters, Robin, he answered those right there.
Made it look easy.
Simple techniques, left hook to left uppercut, I think was the last one, but it's the variety, overwhelming them there. Left uppercut. Yeah, it was a left hook to left uppercut, left foot forward, right? He's just, and then slides, what? Okay. And then the straight right touch on the way down. The theory of Dwayne Ludwig's game, and that's how Zyaf played Dillashaw in that theory, is to overwhelm the mind with possibilities, starting from the feet up. And that's how he played this. I mean, this is a skilled dude. And I notice he's got a crazy number of fights. So the more he fights, the better he gets. The better he gets, the more he fights. It's a virtuous cycle. I dig the Zyaf kid. Excited to see him keep fighting.
For reference for you as well, Robin, when the game came out, when UFC 4 came out, no one really had heard of Zyaf. He played a little UFC 3, but he certainly wasn't a big name. And he started in those feeder leagues when the game dropped. Wasn't in the ESFL at the start of the last season, the first season. And then slowly he got some wins, got some losses. And then we saw him evolve into who he has become today, which is a guy, who put the time in, put the work in, and mastered this game. And we didn't even get to see his ground game, which is also on another level. Rob, what did you think of the performance from the defending champion?
Oh, flawless. I mean, it kind of looked like a mismatch in there. You saw EK Dirty Dave come in there. Everyone was really high on this guy, and then Zyaf just performed out of his mind. Like Robin said, the footwork, the overwhelming of the mental state of his opponent, and just the flawlessness in his technique. And he looked real good. Zyaf is here, and I can't wait to watch him defend his belt again next Saturday.
Yep, next Saturday, guys. The season is in full swing now, so it'll be 122 next Saturday, and then after that, 123. Of course, same time each week, which is 7 o'clock for you UK people. And in America, I'm not going to do the calculations, but it's on the poster. And you should be following all of our social media as well on Twitter, in our Discord as well. If you want to get involved, join a fight camp, but you will get the updates on the social media, which is apparently unprofessionally unknown to me. Robin, let's just go straight to you. The event is over, sadly. You do have one tomorrow night. Robin will be back commentating the 80X Muay Thai event. Yeah. But I don't even know where to start with a question here, Robin. I suppose, did you have a good time? Is a good place to start.
Yes, it's a great place to start, and the answer is overwhelmingly fucking yes. That was a lot of fun. It's interesting to see. I think it's important for us to keep in mind when you look at someone like Zyaf or you look at Yerda, any other people who had really strong performances, they are mastering the game as it exists today, but today's mastery is tomorrow's mediocre. So and that is true in physical fighting and these neurological athletes as well. It is an arms race of improvement, and that's why it's so exciting to see what they are capable of later, because if they don't continue to improve, somebody else will come along and knock them off, and we are at the primitive level of what the human mind can do in this type of competition, but it's pretty exciting already. So it's exciting to see where this can go.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you brought a ton of really interesting, insightful comments to tonight's event. So, I mean, I think I can speak for you as well, Rob, right? Wouldn't you love to have Robin here every week? Like,
Yo, no doubt, just his breakdowns, and he even got me thinking about the game and positions and situations in different ways I've never thought of them, and just how quick he was able to pick up these situations, which proves that this game is a simulation of real life fighting, and that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, I love the
We're not allowed to say real life anymore.
There we go.
This is real life. This is real life fighting.
I was gonna say I love the phrase neurological athlete. I think that's we'll take that. We'll re-engineer that one. That's excellent. But there we go, guys.
If you would credit me with that on occasion, I will take it. But
that's a break. Well, of course we will credit you with that. Of course. There we go. Lovely. That's it, though, guys. ESFL 121 in the books, the start of season 3. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. Of course, you can go watch all of the event if you missed any of it on YouTube or right here on the Twitch as well. But if you haven't checked out our YouTube, jump on over there. We have all of the archives from the previous season. If you go to the UFC's YouTube, you can go watch the summer series of the UFC Esports League. The finale is on their YouTube, still saved up there. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It was a truly fantastic event. We had a great time. But we are back in full swing, 2 shows Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow night, same time, 8:00X Muay Thai tournament with this man, Mr. Robin Black. Robin, any final words from you, sir, before we sign off?
Honestly, I just love what ESFL is doing. This is super cool. Look, way ahead innovation-wise, but still so much where we can all go with this. And it was just a treat. I want to thank everybody for having me, honestly. And the Bane was the one who invited me. I'll be hanging with him tomorrow night.
Yep.
So extra special thanks to the Bane. But thank you, guys. It was a real treat to be here with you guys.
Perfect. How about you, Rob?
Yeah, it was an honor, Robin. It was nice to meet you and do commentary. I've already learned a lot just with a little dose of Robin Black and Balian. As always, it was a pleasure. And everybody out there, thank you guys for joining us. It's always an amazing time here in the ESFL.
All right, we appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow night. Until then, have a lovely evening, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey.